Hope the video rendered.
It's not just a black screen again.
We're going to find out right now.
Find out.
What's going on, everybody? Cali Death Podcast back once again, episode 145. I am your host, Anthony Trapani, and as always, I'm with a couple resident homies. I got Joel Horner and Joseph K with me. What up, dudes?
Yo.
And tonight we are joined by some party monsters from Scotland. The guys in the party can, and we got Martin and Chris. What's going on, dudes?
Guys,
how are you?
how's it going?
Hell yeah, dude. We got a crazy time difference here. I'm drinking a beer. You guys are having coffee. That's how far away you are from me. Got these guys up at 5 a.m. their time. Well, it's 6 a.m. now for you guys, but you guys are probably up earlier than this, obviously. But what up, dudes?
Yeah.
Thanks so much for joining us. And it's really cool to have a new country as an international guest or guests. We got you guys from Scotland, so that's really cool, dude. Let's get into some plugs real quick. We're gonna be missing Casey tonight, so any of you super Casey fans, I'm sorry. You'll see him actually next week. I don't think we're gonna see him either. It's next week, the 7th.
I think he's going to Japan next week.
Yeah, and then you're gonna be gone too, Professor, right?
I'll be in Germany. So Casey and I will span the globe.
I know you guys are going to be all over the place,
all
dude.
Over Cali Death worldwide.
Yes, sir. All right. BattleforgeCoffee.com, as always, starts off the plug section for us. That's our homies and Deeds of Flesh. They've been pumping out coffee for, I don't know, at least over a year now that they've been a company, right?
Mm-hmm.
Probably 2 or 3 years.
Still drinking their shit, still wearing their merch. You guys need to get over there and support them. And then for us, you want to support us, Cali Death Podcast. What's up?
Martin's got it.
Boom. Cali Death Podcast.bigcartel.com is where you can get a shirt or two from us that goes right back into a merch fund. We're not taking money from that. We just want to keep making shirts for you guys. So that's where that's at. And then you got the Generator Rehearsal Studios.com. If you're down in SoCal, you want to get a place to jam, that's where you should be going. And then Professor, you got any dates you want to plug?
Just the show in Berlin. I mean, sorry, not in Berlin, in Germany. I'm going to Berlin after the show. This is Prophecy Fest, already sold out. So if you happen to be going, come say what's up. I'm playing with Illudium. It's going to be some like dark dream gaze, is I think how Chantel describes the style. Playing drums internationally for the first time. And yeah, that's about it for now. So.
Oh, yeah.
Killer, dudes. And then Chris and Martin, where do you guys want people to go for information, merch, and all that kind of shit for Party Cannon?
You can get most of their info at www.party-cannon.com. That's got all our tour dates and merch links and stuff there. But obviously you can find us everywhere else, like Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, Threads, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Cool, guys.
And you guys have the U.S. tour coming up to promote, right?
Yeah. We'll be hitting the West Coast from end of October, October 23rd to November 9th.
You guys make out to that? I didn't even look at the dates. You guys make it out to the West Coast on that tour?
I think it's most of the West Coast.
Yeah.
West Coast. Okay.
Already.
Oh yeah.
Here, let me. It will take me a second, but I will pull up the flyer and put it up on the screen for us all. But it's with I remember it's with Unidad Trauma, right?
Yeah, Unidad Trauma and Inoculation.
Hell yeah.
The lineup for that tour changed like a million times.
Oh yeah.
But I guess I have most of it right.
October 23rd is when it starts. Yeah, dude. My birthday's right around that time. I wonder if you guys are going to be near me during my birthday, dude. We might have to have a birthday party, dude.
You know what to do.
Hell yeah. Dude, you guys should definitely come up with like actual balloons that when you blow them up, they're like your logo, and then you set them up at the.
I'm sure they have.
Yeah,
we did have them actually. It was with our 2017 release. It was an EP.
Okay.
Yeah, Carlos did branded balloons of those ones, but he's like, oh, I could do condoms instead. I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know what I got in my head, if that makes sense. Like, somebody's gonna be dumb enough to use that and get pregnant, so balloons instead. Because that's a safer bet.
That's hilarious. So you sell condoms, but you can't guarantee them, dude. It's like you can put them on, dude, but
like we're not responsible for the aftermath. But
ornamental. That's the way to describe it.
Ornamental condoms, dude. That's a sick concept right there. Well, I was gonna say, it was literally your logo that caught my attention before I even knew what you guys sound like when he first came on the scene, and then I see this logo and I'm like, I fucking love that logo, dude. After all the logos that we've dealt with and how hard it is to read so many, dude, and then it just hits you right in the face when you see it, you know exactly what there it is. See?
I love it, dude.
Beautiful.
So good.
I can't read any of those dates, so
as a Toys R Us kid, of course.
Yeah, that's what I literally had said today. I was talking to my coworkers about it, like, because I talked to him about, you know, oh, dude, we're having this guy on this week or these guys or whatever, and I just, without even telling him, I'm like, check out this logo, and then I wanted to see his reaction. He's like, what? It's going to be like a inverted cross, a pentagram, and all this kind of shit. I'm like, just look, dude. And then I put it on. He's like, dude, that's the sickest death metal logo I've ever seen so far. Because he's like a hip hop dude. So I'm sure everybody, non-metal heads catch that and probably love that logo too when they see it.
Yeah, the original logo is like insane. Like things you don't expect. I don't have like sources and stuff right in front of me, but there's 3 universities in the UK that cover our logo as part of their like marketing degree.
Mm-hmm.
So they bring up how to stand out in marketing and have the Party Cannon logo. And there's a bunch of like marketing books and stuff that have chapters to things like there's one book that has a chapter called "Be More Party Cannon," and it's just a chapter about how our logo stands out on the Death's flyer.
Hell yeah!
There's a TEDx that lecturing program came to Glasgow, and someone just had I got sent a bunch of screenshots. Someone had a big segment just on our logos, like right, since we're in Scotland, we're going to bring this poster up. Alright, yeah. So there's just this big amphitheater in Glasgow. Amphitheater is probably not the right word, but TEDx talk in Glasgow, and the guys just dissecting the Bear Death Fest logo. 200 like people who have no idea what Death Metal is.
I love that. Yeah, that I mean, to me, it's in the logo obviously, but just it's such like my style of like a take on, you know, like what Anthony was saying, just like the crazy, like unreadable. It's like, how about a big balloon fucking logo? It says like let's have fun, like in the middle of like it's like party. It's like to me, just like it always, like the first time I saw it, I forget how many years ago I saw you guys' logo, but I remember seeing it and just going like, these guys got that. That's smart. That's hilarious. That's exactly what I want. That's like, I want something like fun and like, and I want them to be like a serious band but have a funny logo. That's my whole dream of this band, you know. And turns out you guys are fucking sick as fucking, and not just like goofing around. You guys are actually like a legit band with that logo, and that's
they got some goofy song names though too. But I love it. Like my favorite one is fornicating in what is it? Ethically sourced fair trade chocolate.
Yeah, that was meant to be a bit of a parody for other song titles that other bands have.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because some bands would have like, I don't know, fornicating in the pool of blood, or
yeah.
Yeah,
Like, no, dude, let's just put it in chocolate.
And we went through Epicardectomy. It had that song, "Fornicating and Pulverized Feces." Then a few months later, after a US tour, we were in Holland, and this like brand of chocolate called Chocolate Luna came out, and everyone's like, "Oh, can you buy a bunch of this while you're in Holland and bring it back?" And I think it was Martin came out with like a huge stack of it. I think our guitar just said it like, "Oh, it keeps a song about fornicating and ethically sourced trade chocolate." I was like, "Oh yeah," so yeah.
Or just like ones that I just know are totally inside jokes, like Tyrone, put down that sugar or something.
Yeah.
I love these song names, dude, and that's also another reason why. Yeah, it's unique, dude. And then you listen to it, and it's like you're listening to fucking Skinless at times. You're listening. There, you got the exhumed flair, and but adding the slam, and even got some Suffo riffs up in there, and some grind, and I just like that, because we're all of us, dude. Everybody knows you go to a death metal party, nobody's walking around like, dude, fucking murder and fucking hacking arms and legs off, and rape, and rape is probably gonna get us fucking
nobody's walking
down.
like this.
We just ruined our algorithm with me. But you know what I'm saying? It's like everybody's.
I've been to a lot of raves. I love raves.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, it's like it really is like a party when we all get together. So it's like, why not take that element and weave it back into the music, you know?
I thought, I mean, I'm guessing most of you guys have been to, like, festivals and stuff in Europe, like death metal festivals in Europe. It's like fucking nonsense. Like,
yeah,
everyone turns up in inflatables and fucking fancy dress and stuff.
Yeah. I've never been to one, but I've heard plenty of stories where I know it's just bananas.
I've been to many where people are like, there's always something funny, like we played with a cock and ball torture once, and I remember like I forget what people were doing like on the pit. They were like inflatable balls, like fucking rafts and shit, and like it was fun, dude. It was just like, it wasn't like serious. Everyone was kind of like having their best time.
Totally.
Exactly.
So that's Professor, were you gonna say something? I thought I heard you.
Not on that point, no. I mean, I was gonna say I've been enjoying the footage you guys have shared lately of I don't know why I shared that right now. Sorry. Trigger finger. The footage of your guys' latest shows in UK and Europe have been fun to watch. The last couple months you guys have been active, playing a lot of fests. So to that point, I guess.
We just did that run in Europe where we did a Summer Breeze Festival, like Engage and Flames and stuff. That was pretty bad. Yeah, I uploaded a video of that. We got everyone to do push-ups in a pit. And I put one of the reels up on Instagram, and it went weirdly viral. It's got like 250,000 views or something at the moment, and
damn,
over 100 comments. So people just being like, "What the fuck is this? Why are people doing this in the fucking mosh pit?" Back in the 80s, this like didn't fucking happen.
And then a few months later, you see some other bands that do exactly the same.
Yeah.
As we were playing some of these as well, we got this kind of dance music intro, and the band that was before us, they had exactly the same. I'm like, oh, you gotta be kidding.
Oh my god!
I don't know.
They totally stole our whole spiel, so we were just like, oh god,
yeah,
we were just right after them.
They're more like a metalcore band, but like pretty much everything they did was like the same thing we were going to do. They got shit.
That's
really wish we're on right now.
It's like a comedian in the band before you, or the guy before you was telling all, like, has the same premises and the same kind of jokes. And you're like, fuck, now I gotta go up and do all my shit that I already planned, and it's getting played out on the band before me.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, I guess it's not the most original idea in the world, but I just like, oh shit, this is exactly the same we're about to do. I wonder if we knew what was going to happen.
Yeah. Even the same call out that we do for the crowd and stuff like that. I was like,
yeah,
these guys been watching us.
A little suspicious, yeah. Well, I mean,
was it that you said deathcore? Was it that band Bro Job?
No.
It was like it's a German band, I think.
I don't know their name.
I can't remember called, but
yeah. Bro Job had a song that, I mean, that, you know, they're like obviously like a parody band, but There was a what's the Ice-T metal band? It's,
Body Count.
Body Count.
The Body Count, and they had a song called "Talk Shit Get Shot," and then Brojog came out with a song called "Talk Shit Get Kissed." I don't know why that got me so much. It's like, get kissed. Like, you talking shit, I'm gonna kiss you, dude. Like, I was like, that got me pretty. I mean, that's like, there's some of these, like, because I'm a humongous, like, me and Anthony are humongous comedy fans, so like I'm looking forward to the next comedy to come out as much as the next album. So like that, to me, I mean, Cephalic Carnage is like probably one of my favorite bands.
Oh yeah,
and all my best friends, and they're so fucking funny to tour with, and they're just always on this, like, they're serious but they're fucking hilarious. And
this song's called Phantom Farter, dude. It's all about motherfuckers always farting.
Yeah, and there's always
they call me Barton Martin on tour.
Barton Martin, dude. Hell yeah. Did you call him Piss Chris as well?
No. I'll be Joe Hole.
There you go. What Anthony Schmanthony? Like, what?
Yeah,
you didn't even do anything with me.
Tony Boney,
Joseph Pokes it. No, never mind.
Yeah, we can't. We're not that good at comedians.
We're not. We don't get paid to fucking be funny. We do this shit for free.
Last name is pretty easy to rhyme with, gay. So
yeah,
if you want to go there, yeah, that was middle school right there.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, middle school probably ate you up with that last name, dude.
But let me cover some of these dates. By the way, I'm hearing myself after I talk. Is that an issue for anyone else?
We're not noticing it.
No, I got you now. You're done now. It's not gonna do it.
Cool. Okay, thank you. So you guys are starting in Denver on the 25th. Is that right? And then
23rd.
23rd.
Yeah.
Yep.
23rd. The Salt Lake City, Seattle, Portland, and then here's where I'm most interested. So Cupertino, X Bar, I'll be near there. So, and then Santa Rosa, Sacramento. Anthony's gonna go to
what day's the SAC show?
It's the day before Halloween. I don't know what that is.
Old Ironside.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then Anaheim, Chain Reaction. So you guys, and then Brick by Brick and Sandy. So you guys are doing like 5 California shows. So
sick.
Hope you have a good time over here. It should be a nice time of the year to come.
I'm sure we will. We did play California before, and it was great. We did a house show back in 2015. Was it, Chris?
Yeah, 2015. We finished a tour of epicariectomy and parasitic ejaculation in Salinas. It was like played this guy's house called I think his name was Roland.
Okay.
Me and our guitarist Mike would just walk down the street, and there were these dudes just looking at us, sitting on their porch, and I'm like, why are they looking at us like they want to kill us? Why did like they want to hurt me? And then when we came back, one of the guys was like, "Do you guys know that your guitarist is wearing gang colors on your T-shirt?" Whoa!
What? Yeah, Salinas is probably one of the. I mean, I was there a couple days ago. That's one of the offices I work in and stuff, and it's probably 30-45 minutes from us. But yeah, there was like a website counting how many stabbings were happening in Salinas. It was pretty. But the thing is,
really?
Like, everyone's getting priced out. But it's so expensive now to live in this area that like it's getting gentrified. So it's like it's really nice. There's like really nice parts of Salinas, and then there's like don't go over there. But everything else over here is brand new, and it's brand new restaurants and everything. But like it's
exactly the deal where I live. Where I live used to be like a giant heroin den, but he knocked it all down and built like new build houses. And all these computers like me moved in, and so now it's like
And then everybody's just supposed to forget about it.
Just forget about it. It's fine now. Like, where did they go? I don't know. But it's fine.
It's a problem now, but it's a nice house.
That's a lot. I mean, a lot of America too. It's just like because it's so expensive on the coasts and stuff. People just go in and then make everything else more expensive, and it just keeps like the crappy parts of this neighborhood gets rebuilt and it's a constant thing that we have to deal with here. But yeah, it's to live even in Salinas where you guys were. It's if you want a 3-bedroom house, it's $1 million if you want to live there.
Shit.
Yeah, it's insane.
Well, not to get on the housing shit, but isn't Santa Cruz like the highest rent in fucking California right now?
No, it's the high
or
in the
north
world.
in California.
In
I
America.
live in the highest. It's the highest cost to live in the United States, maybe world, but it's. I mean, you have to know friends here that have had houses and stuff to have places to stay here, but it's like, yeah, there's 900 square feet. It's like 1.2 million, like something like that. It's like, and American, it's just ridiculous. It's like, cool. So my monthly payment will be $7,000 a month to live here. Okay, well, yeah, it gets to the point where it's like, Matt Sotelo from Decrepit Birth, he was down here, but he got a house kind of early when it was, kind of not ridiculous, but he's still, it's fucking struggle here, man. And just to live near the beach and stuff, and then people from all over the town surrounding you. The weekend comes and it's the summer, and everyone comes here, and there's traffic everywhere. You can't get anywhere. It's like, it's there's a lot of cons. Yeah, it's tough. And, a lot of people move out of here because of that.
If you got a decent beach, everybody's gonna flock to your town, dude. As soon as it's hot.
We don't have that problem in Scotland.
No,
no, it's hot for like 2 weeks in Scotland. Like we actually just came off a fucking warm spell. I was like, I don't know where it's at right, but like it got to like nearly 30 degrees here, which is like a record for Scotland. But yeah,
they say it's the taps off weather.
Yeah.
The what?
Which means t-shirts off.
Oh, there you go.
Tops off.
Yeah,
dude.
There's a website called Weather in Glasgow, and it just tells you two things: like, is the weather taps on, or taps off?
Taps off, or taps on.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna call like tops off Scotland, dude. We should take that website right now, start a business, dude. Tops off Scotland, dude.
No, that's an actual website. Like that's all it tells you. Like, is the weather? What is the weather in Glasgow? Taps on or taps off?
That's crazy. I actually did my my genealogy, the DNA testing, and they were like, "Dude, you're 33% Scottish."
Whoa!
And I was like, "Oh, what? Need to go back to my homeland? What's going on?"
Yeah, dude. What's the other 66.6%?
Oh, dude, so many things. Like it's
just
such
like
a mutt. Yeah, it's like Native American, fucking like like English, like a bunch of stuff from Europe, and then like a lot of Native American. So it's like just a mishmash of all the things, and you get this idiot. But anyways,
our singer did one of his genealogy tests, and he scored 100% Scottish.
Whoa!
And, right. And we're talking to him. He's like, yeah. There's only one way that happens, and that's a lot of inbreeding.
A lot of inbreeding.
Well, he's like, usually when you do those things, you get like a full A4 sheet of paper, just like being like, oh,
he says it with like a crooked eye, and
literally just got this like paragraphs like Scottish Pictish, and that was it. It's like, oh fuck.
That reminds me when we played the show in Texas, and that dude walks up to us after the show, and he was about to shake my hand, and I'm going to shake his hand, and then he's handing me like $20, and I'm like, I like you guys. You're pure blood. You're Scottish. I didn't want to say anything because I'm obviously Slovakian, so I was just like,
okay, thank you.
Oh man, like, being Scottish in America gets you places because that was in Amarillo. It was like a biker bar type place, and like the opening band was like, "Oh, we've just been handed a message. Like, we're in the Scottish guys." I'm like, "Oh shit, didn't happen here." Then just always bikers came up, and always those guys were like, "Oh, our granddad's like Scottish and stuff like that. I've been in Scotland and stuff, and just give us money and buy us drinks." And people at a bar are like, "I like your accent, so here's a big round." Like, okay, I can use this. It's
yeah. It's profitable. I mean, same with being Australian. People are like, "Oh, whoa, your accent's very different." You like, I remember like touring with I've toured with 3 or 4 Australian bands in America, and man, the opposite sex is all about like accents. Like when you come to America, they're just like, "Ooh, where are you from? What's going on?" I was like,
"You're like you didn't fucking kooks, bro."
I mean, but I mean, it's probably I don't know if it's the same if you go out there. Let's say like a American band goes to Scotland and they have like my like bro, fucking what's up, dude? Like, is that are people like, oh, what's going on with that guy? Or like, fuck that American piece of shit? Is it?
There's probably
usually
areas of
like
Scotland where it's really probably hard to even for a Scottish person to
I want to hear the answer. I want to. So, which
sorry.
one is it? Is it going to be more like fuck this guy or like?
Yeah, I think most people in Scotland, when you hear Americans, are going, "Oh fuck, not again."
I knew it. It only goes one way.
Yeah, just talking about Australians. We don't even listen to them very well. Like I know Jordan and stuff. They're on tour with Dankies in Scotland before, and I remember I was talking to Jordan on the merch desk, and this guy came over to him and started asking him a bunch of questions, and Jordan's like, "I have no fucking idea what you're saying." Just because the guy was like from Glasgow and also had a Glasgow accent. So I had to stand there and like translate what the guy was saying to Jordan, even though he's speaking English. Jordan speaks English.
Isn't that
the only language I speak is English. So I'd be like a mediator here. This guy was like, "How'd you get your vocals like so low?" And it's like, "What the fuck?" And like Jordan was saying, "How'd you get your vocals to be so low?" And then I had to kind of throw her back like, "This is insane." Like,
yeah. That's like, I mean, Scottish are the hardest, probably like Englishish accent to understand. You know, like because it's kind of like, I mean, Irish. Florida is probably the worst. Louisiana, Florida. That's probably the swamp.
I have quite a
out
few Irish customers, and I've learned to understand them. Like a while ago, I probably had a lot harder time because it's so strange how your mouths just work different, but we're saying the same words. You know,
Yeah,
you guys.
yeah.
I don't know what it is, but it's something that I've had to like train myself with Irish, and then with Scottish people,
exactly.
I've had an even harder time.
You just get used to it as well. I lived in Ireland for 2 years before I moved to Scotland, and when I moved to Scotland, it was a learning curve. Yeah,
there's I'm calling back to comedy real quick, but there's a YMH where they played a clip of a guy being interviewed at a pub in Scotland, and for the life of me, I could find like 2 words that I actually heard, and he's just going off, dude. But even the guy who's interviewing him kind of seems like he's having a hard time, but they're still having a conversation. I'm like, dude, he's deciphering enough to where he can have an interview with this dude still. I got 2 words the whole clip, dude.
Yeah. There's a clip of Robin Williams, the comedian, doing Scottish and Irish.
Oh, yeah,
you remember that clip?
The golf one, dude.
Yeah.
About the invention of golf. Oh, it's so good, dude.
It's like one of the funniest clips ever.
You guys, either one of you guys golf?
No, I don't.
No? Oh man, I'm about to be playing on Sunday, dude.
I used to work in St Andrews, which is like the home of golf. Right. Watch that YouTube clip I just sent you, and let me know if you can understand any of that.
All right,
I got it.
Put one in the chat. Should we put it on right now? Let's put it.
I'll put it on.
All right.
This guy's on a roof. All right, I'm down. I'm super down. No, that's like same with like, you know, you go to the southern parts of America and stuff, and it's like, yeah, well, but then like when you get to the swampy parts, they start to mix in sayings and like and stuff like in with the accent, so it's like certain little riddles. They're putting riddles in and shit, and you're like,
and there's so many words that like mean different things too, even though they're English. We make up our own words too, like hella. Let's define the word hella. All right, let's hear this dude.
Let's define this guy.
Oh, your fucking phone, my fucking face. I think you're going to put it all wrong. No, because if you take a tumble, you're taking a heater. You're taking a heater, doing it. What? Try and get both your feet into the flashing and tiptoe down the flashing. If you can stand up,
I got that.
on the flashing and hold on to the gutter till you turn, and then as you turn, your foot will hit the metal pin. You what, Andrew? He was going to D there, Andrew.
Here he goes. Is he going to go for it? He's going for it.
Right. Don't put too much weight on it, right? Wait, where the fuck am I meant to put my weight? Right, I can't put my weight in the roof instead, but I can't hold on to it. What am I meant to do? Oh, you don't do what for 5 minutes? You're fucking wanking stage. Don't shift your beer. What the fuck are you talking about? I can't put my weight on the fucking roof. I can't put my weight in the gutter. Where's it meant to go? No, man, I can't just fucking move it.
Oh my god.
You fucking
There you go.
That's how agitated I'm getting now. You really fucking agitated me. It was you that wanted to go, Dick. I'm just going to let myself drop right. I'm going to hold it to this side bit. And hopefully I'm far enough down to just grab that. What you got to do to your air screws through the roof? I'm not going down there. Wait, I'm going here. Slide and grab this one bit of gum because this is hot.
Fuck, dude.
Yeah, that's like
damn.
That's amazing, dude. It's amazing.
Holy
So
shit.
totally, that's exactly, yeah. That's the shit that I was talking about, dude. It's like I got fuck. I got
that's
you.
a cool thing, you know.
I got you. I got fuck. I did hear him say like hold on with his thumb, or he's like holding on with your thumb. I don't even know if he was saying thumb, but I heard him say hold on. So I was like 4 words. I think I counted.
Chris, what did you hear him say?
Right, so he's like, yeah, don't put your weight on the gutter or else it'll go from the roof. And he's like, what do you mean I'm not meant to put my weight on the gutter? Like that's a little bit meant to be.
That's the part where he's freaking out, where he like starts to have a panic and screaming.
Yeah.
What do you mean? There's parts in it that almost like, dude, there was a part where the dude who's filming, it literally sounded like he was speaking another language. I literally was trying to find English words in there, but it sounded like, did you just, because you know how like people switch between languages sometimes when they're talking like Spanish and English. That's so common for people in California. You can hear people who are Spanish having a conversation. All of a sudden you'll hear a few English words. You're like, oh shit. They either, I don't know. But so I was thinking like that, like, but there's no other language you would be speaking in Scotland, you know?
Totally. Yeah. So
but you guys can hear each other.
Actually, but I mean, my accent's like pretty like neutral as far as like Scottish people go. Like my family from Ireland and stuff like that, so they like moved around a lot. So when I grew up, it was kind of a bit more like cosmopolitan sounding a bit. Like people in Scotland don't think I sound particularly Scottish. Like I was on the Damnation podcast. That's like a big like indoor festival in UK. And the guy who organized it is from Glasgow, but he's really, really from Glasgow. And he was thinking like, oh, you sound like a supervillain compared to me. I sound like some kind of troll that lives under the yeah, just like fucking. Just that works. Yeah.
I think so. I think it's what I'm noticing, like why it's hard to understand for us is like the speed of it. It's so fast. It's like
sometimes it gets really fast, but it's through a different accent, different dialect. You know,
you have to have that. You have to have that dialect down first, and then the speed will come later. And it's like, yeah.
You guys, you know, do you guys call each other cunts over there too?
Oh yeah,
cunts and wankers, or is that too fucking?
The guy was saying wank a bunch. He's like, you fucking wank. He wasn't even saying wankers.
What? Oh, Wankstein. He's just called a wanker. Like, yeah, we call each other cunts here all the time, but it's like a term of endearment. Like, I remember we started parasitic ejaculation in 2015, and we had to sit and kind of like defend the fact that people in Scotland say cunt all the time, because they say it in Australia too. So when we ran into Dissentum, like I was like talking to all those Americans, then we ran into Dissentum, like, oh fuck yeah, Dissentum. And straight away, we just call each other cunts all the time. And all the other Americans are like, whoa, what the fuck is going on?
See, I get that, because I've listened to
Anthony's like, I am a cunt. So I am.
Over there, I would be like, if Chris walked up to me at a party, he's like, this fucking cunt. And I'm like, yeah, dude.
Oh, that means like this motherfucker. I mean, this is like motherfucker.
Not just that. They also separated into good cunt and the worst cunt.
Yes.
The good cunt is obviously
cunt
positive,
levels?
and the worst cunt is the bad guy.
Mike Guitars is on this. He's like the pinnacle of someone who is Scottish. So he'd be the best to describe this, because he's like a 6-foot ginger guy with a huge ginger beard and stuff, and he has like that accent from that video.
One of my other questions I was going to say, since we're on the Scottish, and it's a stereotypical question, but is it like, do you guys have kilts in your closet right now, ready to go?
I was in a kilt last week, maybe 2 weeks ago. Do you know?
Is it like a traditional thing, or like, I mean, obviously a traditional thing, but like, is there specific times you decide to wear it, or is it like, oh, dude, I got to go get some milk and eggs at the store. I'm just gonna throw my kilt on real quick, throw everything in the front pocket.
I mean, you get away with a kilt anywhere, to be honest. But it's mostly like, I was at a wedding. Do you guys know the band Laceration are on New Standard Elite?
Yeah.
So Hamish, he's a good friend of ours. He was getting married, so I got my kilt on for it. Look good.
No underwear, right?
Of course.
That was my next question. I was gonna be like, is it true you're supposed to? I would feel free as shit, dude. I got nothing to hide. If my kilt blows up like Marilyn Monroe, it's all good, dude. People could take it.
I'm not even Scottish, and I have a kilt in my closet.
Yeah. Nice.
The fun part about
go ahead.
The fun part in Scottish is people just enjoy it. If people come over here and like, I want to wear a kilt, we're like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, so I was going to ask. That was another question for you. Like Americans or something coming over and be like, "Oh, we're in Scotland. I'm gonna wear a kilt now." Do you go like, "You fucking cunt," or do you go like, "Oh"?
People are just down for it, man. People are just down for it. Like,
yeah.
If Scottish people go abroad to like football games and stuff, they'll just put on kilts and things, so you can identify Scottish people. Because nobody likes English people abroad, but they love Scottish people. And if you're wearing a kilt, straight away you're Scottish. So.
You ever caught a chick trying to look up your kilt? Over there, did they like upskirt videos? Over here, you guys get up kilt videos over there.
The kilt goes on, man. Anything goes. That's usually how it works, man.
That's cool. I mean, fuck, that's a manly move, dude. Just having your balls just float.
Dude, I actually literally kind of want to do that, dude. I'm gonna fly to Scotland just so I could be accepted walking around. No underwear, dude. Just letting it hang.
Yeah.
I'm actually rock hard right now.
Thinking about me in a kilt, dude.
Just pick up a few lines from The Simpsons from Willie, and you're good to go.
Yeah.
That's all the research.
Yes, dude.
All right, yeah, Jukters.
Well, should we dig in on you guys a little bit, or what?
Yeah, let's do some digging.
Well,
we should probably talk about death metal at some point. Right? You can probably see looking down here, but dogs that appeared.
We're pet friendly podcast, dude. So
that's good.
Chris, since you're the one who contacted me, let's dig in on you a little bit. Okay. Let's go back into childhood. What was childhood like? Art, music, creativity. When did all that start? As early as you can think.
You can.
You can.
Wow, yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I think obviously when you're kids, you can't just listen to what's on the radio or your parents listen to. So my parents are listening to stuff like Queen and Black Sabbath and things. So
hell yeah.
Yeah, like my dad told me a story about how he hitchhiked to Amsterdam to see Black Sabbath one time, and I kind of realized my dad has probably done drugs or something. But so that's always been around. I'd never really thought about being metal or rock and stuff until I was a bit older.
Are you siblings? Any siblings you got? Older, younger?
I've got an older brother, but he wasn't really into metal. He was more rapping and dance music and stuff, which I like. But
it doesn't even really matter about metal right now at that age, dude. Because there's only been a select few dudes that have been on the show that actually were listening to this heavy or extreme metal at age less than 10. Well, maybe a little bit earlier than that, but talk about the things that hit a chord, struck a chord with you really early, whether it be music or movies or something that made you pay attention.
When I was kids, stuff I was on radio, it was things like Linkin Park at that point. Things.
So what? How old are you?
How old am I right now? I'm 31. So
31. So at a young age, would have been like mid 90s when you're.
Yeah. So it was like that's when like rap and kind of new metal and stuff was probably taking off.
Mm-hmm.
And I was never like into new metal, but I like rap and stuff, and I was like,
hell yeah, I'm a
on
hip
the
hop
radio
head.
and things. So, I kind of went from there. Like dance music is always like a big thing in like, the UK and Scotland.
Name a rapper from back in the day that you were into.
Rapper back in the day, it was all dumb shit like 50 Cent and things like that.
Okay.
Like when you're like
I mean,
8 years old, like
that's not it's not bad shit. I mean, that's popular for a reason. So it's like just because radio shit was where I started. Bone Thugs and Harmony and all that kind of stuff. That type of rap.
awesome.
It gets respect for me just because there's the reason why they got that popular, even though it might not be with me in like the 50 Cent era was the beats. I couldn't really get into like the early 2000s popular rap beats. I don't know. But I'm older than you.
For a long time, I thought it was kind of weird.
The boom bap sound is what got lost with that. That's what I'm saying. The boom bap shit that I grew up on with the fucking heavy drums. I mean, there's still heavy drums and that stuff, but it's just got more. I hate to say the word because we're going to be using it so much in this podcast, but party sound was not really my style. I was more of like the more aggressive, like you're getting the groove beaten into you versus like moving with it, you know. But this is me making an argument against your hip hop. I don't even know why I'm doing that. I should shut up.
It's like, oh, that's what you used to like. Well, I like this.
That.
It was like way sick, dude. It was way harder, dude. Like,
dude, don't be a cunt, dude. No.
You like that weak shit?
In terms of actually getting into music, I remember first time I was like, oh wow, I actually like this. I saw the music for Rainmaker by Iron Maiden in like 2002 or 3 or something like that. Like, all right, okay, I like this. This is what I really like. And it's been like end of primary school, which is like elementary school for you guys, going into high school. And that's when I discovered, okay, I think I like metal music now.
Yeah.
But also like the sound of like distorted guitars that I could find was. I was like Led Zeppelin shit all the time.
Here's an Anthony question. Was someone feeding you some music or something to go like check out this harder shit or check it? Was it like or something you found on the radio on your own?
Just I found on my own really, because like well, my parents listened to music and stuff. No one in my family was like a musician. If that makes sense. Like they just stuff they had on in the background and stuff. They didn't really talk about it too much. Like
right.
It was only when I got older that I kind of got like talking to my parents about music. So my dad, mom and dad had like seen like Queen and stuff like in the 70s and things, like 70s, 80s. So that's like interesting to talk about. But I saw Black Sabbath on like the first tour and things. So yeah, I know. So seeing that on like Kerrang TV or something when I was a kid, it's like cool. Like metal. And going to high school, you meet other people who also like metal, and like, oh, you like Iron Maiden, listen to Pantera. You like Pantera, try the Slayer, and and
that's snowballs.
Yeah. So that's kind of before like Google and Spotify and stuff. So you have to like LimeWire and things, and actually buy CDs and stuff.
Yeah, when it was more pirate style. I mean, it's still pirate style, but
now people make money in business suits on it instead of kids just sharing music. But so you're going Iron Maiden stuff like that, Slayer, getting like harder. When was the first time you heard like a yell or a growl or something that you were like, oh shit, this is? When the first time did you hear it? Did you go like, I love this, or were you kind of like, what's going on with this, or how was that? What was your first take on that?
So I think one of the first bands I heard with actually really extreme vocals around the time was when Trivium released Ascendancy. I don't know what year that was, like 2004 or 5 or something like that. I was like, oh, check this out, the vocals are ridiculous. I remember like, oh, this is awesome, like in my head. But I remember all my friends thought it looked stupid. So like, oh yeah, this is dumb. It's awesome. It's so good. It's like,
that's so hard to navigate the friends' opinions when you're like into something. You're like, oh, I kind of like this, and they're like, well, that sucks, dude. And you're like, oh shit.
I remember my friends did come around to it though. They're like, oh, let's do this enough. But I actually kind of like it. I was like, oh yeah, that's cool. I think say that. Oh,
Yeah.
So intense. And then obviously just kind of goes from there, like, right. So that was around the time all that I was like going like Lamb of God, because it just came out, so that was like new stuff. Like
yeah,
the wave of that. That's when they first came out and like coming to Scotland and playing, not like huge venues, but it's like a buzz about that kind of thing. So that's probably when I discovered the kind of harder.
New American Gospel was one of the freshest metal records to me when it came out. Like there had nothing. I mean, yeah, riff styles were definitely. You could hear influences, but just the sound of that record and just the mix, their blend of what they were doing was very fresh to me. So shout out to the New American Gospel.
And the drum sound on the album is still fucking amazing.
Yeah, dude. I mean, that drummer is so underrated, dude. What's his name? Chris something. Is it Chris?
Chris Adler.
Yeah. And he was first
Megadeth.
But he was first drummer of Blotted Science for a little bit, and then it switched up. Yeah, I guess he was original lineup, and then he couldn't do it because Lamb of God's schedule was just too gnarly or something. Which, to be able to do that, I mean, it probably might have been different material when they were writing their shit together, but still, it's like, I wonder what that sounded like.
No, you're right. But yeah, so that kind of stuff was coming out, and obviously that was like a bridging point, because stuff like that was like 50% like heavy stuff and 50% like really like poppy like singing and stuff. So go from like Iron Maiden and like Pantera and stuff that's kind of like aggressive but still like singing in a way, to go to that was kind of
natural progression.
As I think when death metal was the thing, first like death metal song I heard was Ghost of Perdition by Opeth. I mean, I read a review online.
That's still my favorite metal song of all time. I have to say, to this day,
yeah,
I don't know.
It's like a killer song, man.
I can hear it play. It's playing in my head right now just because you mentioned it.
Someone was like, pick the number one, like about 10 years ago. They're like, pick the best song you've ever heard, and I'm like, it's probably that song. And then I posted it on my like Facebook, and every year it comes up. I'm like, it's still the one. Yeah, it's like I've overplayed the fuck out of it, but the thing is, like,
doesn't matter.
It's just the journey that takes you on. It's like all over the place. It's like, Jesus Christ, guys.
That was like the first time I actually listened to something that was like labeled death metal. I remember I was on like Blabbermouth, and Blabbermouth first became like a thing, and there's like a review of the album, and just kept describing it as death metal, and like, oh cool. So I went to listen to that, and like, whoa, this is just like the way the riff on was like actual vocals and stuff were really intense.
His vocals are, for a first growl to be heard, that's a hefty first growl right there, dude.
Yeah.
I guess like you kind of bridge a gap from like Trivium to that, because Opeth is quite progressive, but the softer sides of Opeth, like there's still a lot more going on. It's still kind of sonically more intense than say like a Trivium Torch or something like that, because it's all like kind of like folky and there's like layers and layers and layers of guitars. Just listen to like an 8-minute song where it just has shitloads of stuff happening, just as like a progressive journey. It was like more intense than like hearing like a Trivium song is like 3 minutes long and like a verse chorus. Like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Something more advanced is kind of out there. And then started googling death metal, and obviously I heard of the classics like Death, Malevolent Creation, things like that.
And then you're just off and running.
Yeah, I had this little fucking 128 megabyte like MP3 player. I was like cutting edge technology at that point in time. But I filled with like D-side albums and stuff for fucking ages, and I listened to so much, like just listened to like 2 or 3 albums from like Morbid Angel, D-side stuff, just on repeat to the point where like I could not hear it anymore. I heard so much like Welcome to School as a teenager, but here again, like, oh fuck, man. But yeah, and obviously just from there, and I remember one day I downloaded Deranged Epidemic on Discord, and that was it. Like, okay, yeah, it was the fact that Maiway's vocals were fucking insane. The song itself was mental, but then I had a huge breakdown in the middle. But it was like really simple and really catchy, and it just kind of goes back to like being insane. It's like, cool, this is what I want death metal to sound like.
I mean, just to get fluff Maddie's feathers real quick. There's it hasn't been recreated technically. Like when I listened to that album, the the super low gutturals, although he was, you know, at the forefront of all of that. Like there's a lot of duplicates that have come out since him, but something about the mix on that record, whatever mic he was using, whatever room he was in, whatever state he was in, I just can't hear anybody else they get close to it, but and that's just me also being biased because I experienced that album just like you did. It came into my life at a perfect time where I'd already trained up on all the death metal, you know, up until finding out about Disgorge. And then you're just like, wait, I think that's what it is, dude, is that there's definitely examples of people who have probably come across Disgorge way earlier in their you know, ripening death metal ages, but I think that you get trained up to a certain point and then you find this Disgorge and you're just ready to hear it, but you're also you're ready to hear it, but you didn't realize that it existed. So it's like a double whammy of like, this is so new, but also it's feeding this hunger that I've created by trying to go as extreme as I possibly can with finding music. And then it's like you think you hit a ceiling and then you meet Disgorge and you're like, oh, now the room's a lot higher now, you know. And
I think not that I can speak another language. It's kind of like learning another language. You have to like train your brain to translate those kind of sounds. So you start with like Lamb of God, which is obviously like, as music goes, is pretty extreme, but sonically is more kind of comprehensible. Then you kind of go back, you hear like older stuff like Slayer, which is not as modernly produced, so it's kind of a bit like mushier and stuff. You hear things like death metal, it's kind of more guttural and stuff, and you kind of train your brain to understand it. Then you can hear stuff like Disco, and you go, okay, that's not just a wall of noise, that's actually this and that.
It is, and it's so funny how it is a wall of noise to somebody who didn't their brain wasn't like wired for it yet. And we're the guys that are like, no, but dude, you gotta understand, like this and that. You know, it's like, don't you see, listen.
That's
right
the wrong
here.
approach. That's the wrong approach, though, because I think that you have to go through the layers.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You can't just like try to explain to someone that's never really gotten to like they hear like Sepultura, Slayer, and you're like, dude, check out Disgorge, dude. It's gonna fucking hit your, and they're gonna be like, what the fuck is this? You know, they need to like find their like little path and climb the ladder a little bit, and they're
what's
like,
the language?
Jump into the deep end.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
We need a death metal language app, dude, that people like Babbel. Let's work with Babbel and fucking get a death metal language app ready so people can get into it quicker.
It's just like, well, it's like an app that they're like listening to death metal, going like, okay, so this is what you need to listen to. This is the layers that you need to hear. Like, it's not like about like a language or any kind of like speaking or anything. It's like, all right, so hear that.
Fast forward to this up. This time in this song. Okay, now listen to this riff. Now let's explain where that riff's origin
and
was.
They're memorizing this whole thing that doesn't even make sense, because that's why it's insane. It's because it doesn't really make that much sense on guitar. You're like, how, what, my brain's just like, what, how do you memorize this? I don't even, like, still to this day with like Diego and stuff, I'm like, how do you like play that? I don't understand how you like can go like constantly.
He's just like,
the whole time.
Dude, 10, 11, 10, 14, 10, 11, 10.
But there's not a melodic, catchy, like a, you know, like what you're saying, like the normal song structure there. It's kind of like, and that's, you know, when I played with Decrepit, it was kind of, I understood that a little bit more, but I was like understanding that like it's just, I mean, it's memorization. It's like insane memorization. You know, it's not like, oh, here's the chorus. It's like no. It's like it's like, oh no, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do the riff like 9. We're gonna do that like 7 times instead of 6 this next time, and then we're gonna go into the breakdown, and then like, and you're like, fuck, dude. Like,
Diego's the perfect example of somebody who, or I shouldn't say perfect example. He's the perfect argument against memory problems with cannabis users. That dude chiefs all motherfucking day, but he could remember all those Discord riffs and play them in order and the way they're supposed to be played. So I'm like, I think fuck you guys in your memory arguments.
Going back to Babel though, it's kind of his language. It's his dialect that he just knows so well. You know, to us listening to it as like a foreigner going to it, going like, huh, so what are you trying to say? What's going on there? Like you can't like really like when someone speaks in a different language to you, you're just like, huh, okay. Well, I've heard a couple words in there that make sense, but like it's kind of what we were talking about earlier. And he's just got it like his own language mapped out, and it's like easy for him. It's like, oh, I'm just doing a sentence, dude. What's wrong with you? You know, it's like it's just something on him because he's written it and he's got it like completely in the back of his mind. To him, it's nothing. To me, it's like I said, still to this day, I listen to crazy progressive music. They're changing, you know, time signatures constantly, and it's just ridiculous. Still, for Disgorge to me, it's just I can't imagine having to learn all that. It sounds like
Diego speaks Scottish when it comes to music.
Yeah. It totally is. Diego's that guy on the roof through his riffs, dude.
Yeah. That's like. But yeah, that was like me next to man, like trying to explain that to like my friends. Like my friends, like their idea of like an extreme band was like anti-gates and stuff, which was like cool and all that. But like listen to Dying Fetus and Discord and see what I was like, and they'd be like, this is noise. I was like, it's really weird having that conversation with someone who's like into metal and they're telling you that the metal you listen to is noise.
Yeah. No, definitely. It's I mean also it you know, metal kind of turns in with especially just like dudes and males, it really becomes like a kind of a pissing contest of trying to find the most extreme thing you can find and one up everyone else. Just be like, oh, that's cool, dude. Yeah, that band, that's cool, but check this out. It's like what? You know, and then it keeps going until it's just like it's like completely insanity, and it's like it's you know it's awesome because I love how it pushes people to try something different and push them to try something more extreme. But it's my whole growing up has been like, oh, dude, you like Pantera? Check out fucking Slayer or Cannibal Corpse, dude. I'd be like, whoa, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, you always feel sick when you drop a Cannibal on somebody who hasn't listened to Cannibal or something. Even if they don't get it, it's like you still feel sick. Like, dude, this is what I'm listening to over here.
But if you drop it on the person that wants to show new music to everyone, they're like, fuck this. This is stupid, dude. I don't like this. Is all weak. That's all I can't understand them, dude. What's going on? You know, they're like they want to shit on it a bunch until they listen to it. If you like for a couple of years or something, they're like, all right, it's awesome. I love it. But yeah, it's just there's a lot of those peoples in a lot of groups that, and we've had them all that want to show you. They're the ones that want to show you the new thing. They're like, I am the one that should show you the new thing. You know, I've found these bands that you all love now. So now I have the torch of showing you the new thing. And then if you show them the new thing, they're like, it's not, I don't know. I don't really like it. It's kind of, you know, and like when you're younger, I'm talking about mainly. Like nowadays, I'm like, if someone like I had a dude message me today on Instagram when I was taking a dump, and I listened to he's all listened to for 27.5 seconds. Had a funny like message to me, and I was like, cool. I listened to it, and it was fucking sick. I was like, this is fucking rad, dude. Like, you know, like I always listen to when people send me shit. I always try to listen to it, but I was like, fucking keep it going, dude. Holy fuck. And then started sending me a bunch of guitar videos. I'm like, all right, dude. Calm down when of the 7 guitar videos. No, I'm just kidding. But no, it was very cool to like a lot of people are so used to getting like he's all, I know you don't want to listen to anything. And I'm like, dude, I'm at work taking a dump. Like I'll listen to whatever you send me right now. And it was very cool, you know, like the new music that's coming out and people are still I'm not that guy that's trying to find like, oh, what's the next cool thing? I'm just like, I'll just listen to everything, and sometimes something grabs me now. It used to be the elitist kind of brain, the elitist going like, I mean, back on tour, I don't know if I've told it a million times on the podcast, but me and like Faceless Singer, we grew up together as kids. I'm the old one, Demon Carcass, he's on Zenith Passage now, and we had this funny thing that we were basically on tour for the first time together, and he's all, dude, it's all about like roadside records, dude. Like, and he was like, what's that? He's all, so, you know, because back in the day it was before Spotify, before streaming anything, you get like, you know, stacks of records on tour,
CDRs, dude,
or demos, just like stacks, and people like taking you in their car and be like, listen to my thing, and you know, and just it was awesome, but like, you're getting it constantly. But the thing is, we had these long ass drives, so I was like, we'll just stack them together and we'll listen to them all. We'll listen to 100% of them. And if you get signed to Roadside Records, that means we throw it out of the band.
You get signed.
Yeah, but I've introduced many bands to labels and stuff, just going like, dude, check this band out. This is fucking sick. Like if we actually like it, we'll show it to a label. We'll go like, check this out. Like, this is some random band from fucking Oklahoma. Check this shit out. You know what I mean? And so it was like a fun activity. It's for to like listen to everybody.
An example of that would be also Archaic. Like 16-year-old dudes giving out CDs out at LA Metal Fest, and they were
and we're like, well,
young
check
little,
it out.
Basically children, and they're like, dude, check out our death metal band. And I still have that same. See, you signed a bunch to Roadside. I signed some to Roadside Records too, but I actually do still have like a handful of solid demos from bands that we've gotten, like embalmed. But give it up for Embalmer. All right, so back on to Chris, dude. I want to know when you got into playing music. When did you decide you wanted to? What was the first instrument, and was it just a 6-string, or did you start with bass right away?
I started bass right away. It's that whole story. My friends play drums and guitar, so they need a bass player. So I'll play bass.
Same.
Yeah. So like first high school band, both Psychoanalysis, and obviously like when it started, we were like 15, 16. So I kind of started off sounding kind of like Killswitch Engage, then I kind of went a bit more progressive and sounded more like Cycles and Black Diver at the end. But
were you playing before? Or did the band make you learn?
Oh no, the band made to learn. Like
yeah.
So like I was saying, like they needed a bass player. I think I originally wanted to play guitar. I wasn't really sure like. And like, oh, you need a bass player. Like, cool. I don't really know what a bass guitar is, so just go and get one, hope for the best. And and that was what, like 15, 16 years ago now. Yeah, still got it since. But I did that.
Just put in that. Were you putting in a bunch of hours of just learning at home too, or were you just still learning on the fly at jam sessions?
I did start learning at home. That was really the whole thing. So I started getting lessons from this guy who's like a guitar player who also taught bass, but I don't know what it was. I just couldn't get my head around it. So we started like learning AC/DC songs, like really simple, one of the more simple Red Hot Chili Peppers songs. But a year into it, I was still like struggling with those songs. It just made no sense. Music still made absolutely no sense to me. And then I turned up to his house one day, and his mum answered the door. Like, oh, he doesn't teach guitar anymore. He's going back to university. He's like, oh, okay. So I don't have a guitar teacher. So I just found like ads in the local music shop for a guy called Laurie McMillan who was actually a bass player who taught bass. And it turned out he was like a session musician for Ray Wilson, who used to be in Genesis and things like that. And it turned out he toured all over the place in like orchestras and things. And I had one lesson with a guy, and he explained things to me in a way that I could completely understand. And overnight, music just like made sense. He's like, these shapes and these chords work with this. Like, whoa, what the fuck? He applied everything as a kind of like a formula. And as soon as he did that, I could understand it. Like, I enjoyed playing music like way more. And that like in like a week and 2 weeks of having lessons with him, I probably progressed 100 times faster than I did in the whole year like being taught by another guy. And that's when I was like, okay, right, I want to practice at home. I want to learn all this stuff. I want to learn different types of music. I want to just get really good at bass. Like I understood like what bass did and stuff, and it wasn't just something you did because your friends already had guitars. It's like something that made music better, something that sounded cool on its own, something you could like make hollow noises with, something you could do like cool chordal stuff with it. So, yeah, just made music way more interesting for me. Like.
Hell yeah, getting that extra, just when things click with you, no matter what you're into, but they're music or art or whatever, dude. Just like when you feel that in you something changed and it's for the better and makes you want to do it more. Those are some of the best feelings, dude.
For me, I think what Chris is saying is a huge deal because there's so many music teachers out there that they're like they're gonna do it their way and whatever, and blah blah. And like I remember the first guitar lesson I learned was learning scales, and I was like, I would rather shoot myself in the foot. This sucks. So I'm like, I want to learn how to play like Slayer and do. I want, I'm like a kid. I don't want to learn scales, but like having someone actually, once you start to like get into music and understand things a little bit more, but you still kind of don't. There's like a disconnect, and then having someone like explain something like, oh, dude, it's just like just connect this with this, and then you just do that. I'm like, what? Why the fuck didn't you tell me that?
Simplified version.
When you're young as well, you just want to go out there and just go crazy with it for a while.
Exactly.
You don't want to start learning the theory because it's boring.
Yeah. You want to hear yourself play along with a song that you like for fun, and you don't want to like start with like, oh, this is the major scale. You want,
even
like,
if you don't play it right, you're just there for the fun. Because I think if people also push you, if the teachers push you too much into theory, and you're not having fun with it, you're eventually just gonna be like, fuck this.
Yeah, exactly. It gets too scholastic. You're like, all right, I don't want to. I'm not here for like another class. I'm going to school all day.
And you're just seeing your heroes just playing it flawlessly on stage or whatever and having fun with it. You're just like, I just want to be that right now. I mean, that's with everything that we all do as humans. It's like we have a goal, but the journey to it is like the grueling process that nobody really wants to take, but you have to take that journey in order to get to it.
You need to have that want to take the journey. You need to have that like, all right, I see some progression here. I'm down to get in the nitty gritty now. Like you have to have that like snowball needs to start. You can't just like push people into like crazy theory or something in the beginning.
But what you're saying, I was going to say, but what you're saying is those types of teachers that give you a legit taste of what your goal could be.
Yeah. And then get the snowball.
Then
going.
You're like, all right, now I decided that I want to take that journey and I want to fucking
put in the work.
Wade deep into the waters, and
the work sounds fun now. Work sounds fun because I get to like,
because I got a taste of it. I got a legit taste of it. Yeah,
definitely.
So that's cool, dude. And playing with other humans too, and feeling the groove. Like you guys are a rhythm section right now, so you guys play off feel way more than I'm the least feel in the band because I'm just the vocalist. But Joel's the bass player too. He knows what feels like. I think that feel is something. That word is bigger in your guys' realm than it is for, guitar players too. I mean, it's all feel, but I just feel like you guys actually feel like the bass, you're actually really feeling yourself play, dude. The low end of stuff is such a bigger vibrational thing in music than most people think. And I've mentioned it a few times on the podcast that like the rhythm section and groove itself is become so much more important with me because I've gone so far out with the avant-garde and the technical shit, but then I'm starting to feel in my later ages that groove is it's something that I kind of get hard on myself for not really paying as much attention to it, even though like we all can feel and groove. I just, it wasn't as important as shred and technical, drumming.
It's something you bop your head to, basically.
Yeah, it's the what that's what I'm getting to is like I still love all that stuff, no doubt, and I'm not knocking it at all, but the stuff that makes my body involuntarily move while I'm listening to it, that's the groove that I'm talking about. And I find that a bass player and a drummer together are the ones that make my body want to move without me, voluntarily moving it.
For me, I mean, I went through the whole phase of like shred craziness, and I remember when I've toured with Tosin a couple times, but Tosin was playing in Born of Osiris as like a last second fill-in, Tosin Nabasi, just like when he was like a younger and stuff, and then he's all, my band, check out my band. I'm like, cool. And then they came on Summer Slaughter and they were opening like 2 or 3 bands before us. And I'm like, Naveen, I've grown up with Naveen my whole life. So I was like, Naveen, you're in this band too? I love Animosity, like you're one of my best friends. It's all good. And I remember watching them and watching a metal show go from like this to this. Go like, I watched that happen, and everyone was doing it. Everyone was there early. There was like fucking Steve Vai was at a show. Like it was like everyone was like, I know everyone's like showing up to this band that was the opening band, which he gave me the disc and I was an asshole. I was like, cool, man, I'll check it out. and didn't. I didn't even roadside records it. I didn't. But no, he was like, check out my band. He's all excited. Like Tosin was like this younger dude going like, check us out. I just got it's done now. And I listened to it and I was like, it's fucking sick. It's fucking cool. But like seeing it live, and they had this groove where metalheads, the whole crowd was like doing this like nasty face and doing like it wasn't a headbang. It was like a side thing going like, and I was like, oh fuck, this is insane. This is like me understanding that like a different style could be of rhythm can be brought to metal and stuff. But I mean, with you guys and stuff, it's really cool because I really, when we were younger and dumber and like all about like the craziest stuff, we were like, breakdowns are the lamest thing you can do. Like when we were younger, we were like, you can't do breakdowns.
Listen to an Odious Mortem breakdown and tell us that we like breakdowns, because I mean we do like breakdowns, but I'm just saying like Suffo like the number one for me, so I'll always back.
They always got the pass and stuff. I mean, that's heavy as shit. I remember like touring with Whitechapel once, and Ben just comes up to me, puts his arm around me, and we're watching Suffo together, and he's just all like, I stole everything I know from heaviness in this band. It's like that's like that live feel of a breakdown is just wins. It's just the heavy part. It's like with Zenith Passage and stuff, like there are little breaks and stuff where there's emptiness in between everything and disruption. I can go on to the bands or that have that style. It like on the live element, I was always like technical death metal doesn't come across very well live. It needs some sort of a groove. You need something to kind of catch people.
Contrast as well. Like that's like what took me my Discord song first time I heard it. The fact it was crazy, but also had like a big like simple slam riff in it that kind of caught you as well.
Yeah.
Like
going back to a headbang, everyone got the headbang at some point. It wasn't just like
it's that push-pull effect where you push in with more aggressive stuff, fast stuff, and then you're pulling back a little bit when you have the groovier stuff coming in.
Yeah, we never really. I mean, we did break it down, but we never really pulled anybody back too much to where they wanted to pit. Odious Mortem was always like a band like people would start pitting for like 3 seconds, and they'd be like, "Oh wait, never mind."
We got like 20 more ideas to throw at you that you aren't going to hear correctly live.
But for the next one.
That's a good point there, Joel. It's definitely most of the time you might not hear it correctly live because of all the fucking underground mixes.
Odious Mortem live
I'll
return.
Go grab something to drink. I'll be just a second. My mouth is all dry.
Go for
it. Get it. No, but it's that. I mean, as an older, like you said, Killswitch Engage. Like that's a band where I got into them when I was 36. I got into them as like I swear to God, I was pushing them away, going like, whatever. I'm too metal for this, or something in my head, like something stupid. And then once I hit a certain age, I was like, I'm down for anything that's good. Like I just want good music. I'm
that's
down
crazy.
For
I got like 20 years on you with Killswitch then.
Yeah, you probably don't even know their new stuff, so it's all good, dude. But
no, I haven't. Is Jesse back in? I heard Jesse was back in.
So he did Summer Breeze.
But what they just did.
Yeah. No.
Summer Breeze.
He like I watched it. It was like in the morning. You don't have to sing the whole song, but like in the morning, like I threw it on. I was like getting started with work, and I was listening to his voice, and I'm like, holy shit, this guy's like gotten his. It's like almost perfection, like from that one singer that was the old Killswitch singer.
Well, it was Jesse, then Howard, then Jesse.
Oh, yeah, it's Jesse originally, Howard, then Jesse. So like he was like almost better than Howard. I was like on the new one. I was like, whoa, this guy's been taking vocal lessons or something. He was like nailing like and doing extra like Halfordish kind of stuff in the middle of it. And I was like, and I looked in the comments and was like, what the fuck happened to this guy? This guy's like killing it. I was like, right? That was my initial feeling I saw from it. I was like, this guy.
I think he's going to replace Howard Jones. He'd have to like really step up his game. He's going to rejoin a band that when he left weren't that big. On our way now became like the biggest band ever. You're going to rejoin that band.
No.
Step up your game.
I saw videos of him like after he rejoined, and he was like, trying to do the Howard Jones parts and wasn't really doing justice to it. But I watched this. It's on YouTube. The Sea Breeze. What's it called?
I don't want him to keep going down the kill switch rabbit hole because again, I want to get back onto Chris. And then I also got to get in Martin.
Anyway, so check that out. The video that they just posted on YouTube. It's his voice. I was like, is this?
I was
going
to say Howard should just bring back "Blood Has Been Shed." That should be a thing that they should bring back.
Okay. What has it been?
Have you heard that band, Joel?
Oh yeah, when I was younger.
Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. So Chris, talk about when was the first recording? Talk about like first live shows. Got any funny live show stories in the beginning?
Oh, all right. I've got a really good live show story for when my band got their first like actually good gig. So we were just like a local band. We just did that whole fucking sell tickets to your mates things. Hope your parents like come to gigs, take your friends to gigs, stuff like that. So where we live is a place called Dunfermline, and it's like an hour away from Glasgow, an hour away from Edinburgh, and that's the only place gigs happened at that point in Scotland. And all these like bigger gigs anyway. So we got our first like proper like big Glasgow gig, supporting Misery Index. Misery Index. See You Next Tuesday. Burning Skies and Dead Beyond Buried. Just from my lineup, you can tell that was fucking 2006 or 7 or something like that. Yeah. So fucking sold all these tickets to our friends. I fucking pissed my parents off, being like, "Can you please drive all my friends an hour to fucking Glasgow, so I can watch the gig?" And I remember up until then, all our gigs have been fine. We thought we kind of knew what we were doing, but then that happened, and we're like, "Oh shit, we actually have no idea what's happening." So basically, we're an opening band because nobody gave a fuck who we were or where we came from or anything like that. And we started playing, and it was the first time we've ever dealt with like technical difficulties or anything like that. And it was like devastating. It was like maybe like 300, 400 people there. And I remember our guitarist, wireless pack kept cutting out, like our lead guy, and we thought it was like devastating because he'd like be going to play riffs and stuff, and it just wouldn't be working. And I got fucked. It was like the worst day ever. And eventually, halfway through the set, someone gave him like a guitar cable, and I like sorted out. I was like, okay, this is all fine. And then our singer, who also played guitar at the time, he tried to play it off and be like funny. He went, "Oh, Fish, I think you should apologize to the audience." And he can put his hands on the tips. It's kind of like as a joke. And as soon as he did that, his guitar strap fell off, and like in front of all these people. But his guitar didn't just like land on the stage; it landed between the barrier and the stage.
So you couldn't grab it again.
Yeah, so there's like all these monitors in the way. So we just spend like 5 minutes of our set watching him trying to fish this Zyphos Ibanez guitar out of his like crevice in the stage.
Oh man!
And like when you're like 17, it was like devastating. You're like, oh fucking hell. Then that took so long, we got kicked off stage.
Oh man, I'm feeling your vocalists. Like what was going through his head in front of what you said, 300 or 400 people. I'm like, dude, you must. I would just feel like a fucking piece. I would feel like a fucking cunt, dude. No, I wouldn't feel like it, from you guys. I would feel like that's too good. I would feel like a wanker. I would feel like a wanker.
Yeah, that's what I feel like a fucking dickhead, man. Like, that was what? But we thought it was it. It was like, oh fuck, we ruined everything. Like.
But I mean, shit. Dude, this is the thing, dude. Like those are always going to be the moments that we will never forget. Isn't that funny? We couldn't recall all the sick shows that we've had, but we're gonna remember the ones where we had the problems. That's it.
Oh yeah, big time. Like I can. There's been loads of like festivals we played where we played like thousands of people and stuff, and they're kind of like a blur. But the gigs where I try to introduce a song and I fuck up the song title, I remember all of those.
You're like unethically sourced. Oh, I mean ethically. I mean,
I said something.
I mean, we still do it to this day. All this stuff,
dude. I misspeak every single one of these episodes, dude. I just don't give a fuck anymore. I can't give a fuck anymore. How many hours we've been doing this thing? I can't watch all my likes, guys. Sorry, or whatever, you know. Yeah. It's just. But all right, so
hold on.
Yeah.
There's demand for the dog to be displayed.
The chat wants to see your doggy on camera.
I do.
Can we get the dog?
What's it doing?
Oh,
it's a greyhound.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, she's a rescue greyhound. So I used to volunteer at a greyhound rescue charity for a few years because I didn't own my own house. I couldn't like just adopt one dog, so I used to go to the charity kennel where they rehomed ex-racing dogs, and you just go there and like walk them like on a Saturday, like feed them things, help them out, and eventually bought my own house with a garden.
That was going to be my question too. Is ex-racer? Is your dog an ex-racer? Yeah. Dude, I don't want to take it down that rabbit hole, but that shit sounds crazy. I've heard drugs are involved. I've heard just like malnourishment and all that kind of shit. Dude. When you say rescue, I'm just like, of course, rescue those dogs.
Oh, totally. Yeah, no, like ground racing is not like you got a pistol or anything like that, or have people be like, you're not vegan and things like that. Yeah, no, ground racing can be like pretty savage on dogs.
Yeah,
a lot of bad trainers out there. Dog they like badly treated and things like that. Like when I first got my dog, she was like super skinny, and her tail was all like fucked up. It was all like it looked like it'd been like cut or like bandaged or weird something like that. But in the grand scheme of things, she was pretty okay. But some dogs that came in the kennel were like missing toes, missing ears, missing eyes, clear like PTSD and things like that. Like yeah, they've been poisoned, stuff like that. It was mad. It was mad. But
what's her name?
Mochi, like a little Japanese cake.
Mochi, yeah. Delicious.
It's nice. Yeah, like greyhounds are really good dogs. They're so lazy and they're so laid back. She's one fed at the moment, which is why she's like coming here. But
does she ever take off and so she still got the speed?
Oh yeah, she can run up 45 miles an hour.
45 miles an hour?
I think greyhounds are like the 7th fastest land animal or something like that.
Holy shit, dude.
But she spends most of the time just asleep in a ball. And then I'll let her out in the garden sometimes and she'll run in a circle for like 10 minutes and I'll be here for an hour.
That's crazy, dude. That's why I love this podcast, dude. I just learned something new. I had no idea they ran that fast. And 7th fastest land animal on Earth. What the fuck?
Yeah, top 10 anyway. I think it's 7th or 8th, but yeah.
Wow, top 10 fastest animals in the world, dude. That's insane, bro. All right.
All for the wrong reasons.
I love your dog.
It's kind of like they're like humans going like, dude, make him go faster. Dude.
It kind of is like that, but
I know it sucks.
Greyhounds are the only dog mentioned in the Bible.
Whoa. Okay, now I got more questions, dude. What part of the Bible and why?
It's like I don't know, like John 3:18. I don't know what the fuck.
Like inscriptions, like greyhounds and stuff. Apparently, just an old dog, old breed.
Whoa, I didn't even know.
Cool. Dude, hey, they call it a greyhound in the Bible?
I believe so.
Okay.
Wow, that's crazy, dude. We've been breeding dogs for hell long. I didn't know it was that long, though, dude. Like, it goes back to wolf, right? All of them.
Yeah, totally. On the topic of dogs, I'm actually going to go feed my dog, so I'll be back.
All right, cool. Perfect time to start a Martin.
Yeah, let's dig on Martin. All right, dude. Same question, Martin. You got to go back in time, dude. Take us back to childhood and your introductions to creativity. Talk about anything, dude. A movie soundtrack, art, anything, video game, anything that like the first thing you were just all in on, you know?
Well, I said earlier that I'm from Slovakia originally, so when I was growing up, it was still communism. That kind of tells you how old I am.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, damn.
So my earliest memories were like, when something happens to you as a child and it sticks with you. Usually it's the bad stuff when you're up until the age of 10, I would say.
Okay.
So one of the earliest memories was that my dad used to have a vinyl player, and he used to play me like these fairy tales, like Riding Hood or I don't know, Three Little Pigs or all this stuff. But it was singing as well as narrated. So I was listening to that on the vinyl, but he had like this phaser in there as well. So as a kid, I would pick off all these buttons from the phaser and just stuff them in my mouth and then turn up in the kitchen to my parents. And they were in horror because they thought I'm going to start swallowing them. But those were my kind of the earliest memories on music because it was all songs and these kids' songs. But then obviously as I got curious, my dad had all these vinyls stacked up and he would have like stuff like Boney M or ABBA or Deep Purple and all this early stuff. I just remember as a kid, I really liked the song Ballroom Blitz.
Yeah.
And I thought that was the heaviest stuff ever. Like, as a
Isn't that like Wayne's World? Wasn't that in Wayne's World? No.
Yeah. You know, and I thought this is so heavy. I can't remember it still because I was maybe 6 or 7.
Was it in Slovakia that you were?
Yeah.
This was all happening
in Slovakia. So, communism finished in 89. Yeah. So by the time when it all finished, my dad would have
same
some
time
vinyls.
as Romania. Same time as Romania. I think Romania got overturned in 89 too. The guy got killed.
Yeah. I think it all kind of fell apart in 89.
Oh, okay.
When the Velvet Revolution came in, people jingling their keys in the streets and all that. But what I'm trying to say is that it was quite hard for my dad or anybody to get any vinyls or records. They would love Black Sabbath. They would love, as I said, Deep Purple or Led Zeppelin or anything, but it would be nearly impossible for them to get the vinyls over. So what they used to do is smuggle records in.
Wow.
And my dad would have quite some collection. So I would eventually kind of listen to that because he was listening to that. But that would be the start.
That shows like drive, and it shows like a true desire to listen to this music. Like I'm gonna smuggle. We over here we're like, dude, we smuggle cocaine. You're like smuggling.
I think
rock and roll, dude.
The perfect way to put
it. My dad's high school name was Hashish. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
So I was always like,
I already want to hang out with your dad.
No, I mean, thinking
Deep
about like
Purple and hash, dude.
But
come on.
For us, like back in the day, like music was like, we had to go to the record store, dude. Like, fuck.
Yeah, I know. That's been my argument.
It's like, dude, smuggling. Like, they're so into it, they're smuggling music in. It's like, you have to get a record. It's like, dude, can you dude, I heard that one exists. Can you smuggle it? Like, rather than like go to the record store for us, we're like, I miss going to the record store. Fucking Spotify now.
Yeah,
it's
dude,
like,
I was like,
it's crazy how things have changed.
I'm going to the record store with $40, dude. You guys don't even know, all you downloaders. Like these guys literally were breaking laws just to listen to fucking Black Sabbath.
They cared more.
It was punishable by law if you were caught even listening to BBC Radio 1.
What?
Jesus.
Yeah, I mean,
I know, dude. We're speaking from fucking Americanized fucking California mentality. So it's like we're just like, dude, no freedom. What?
Yeah. I mean, you did have freedom to listen to stuff that was there available, but that was
in this realm. I'm saying, yeah.
I mean, the definition of communism would have been that you're all allowed to buy whatever car you want to have as long as it's black.
Yeah. It's like as long as it is the same as what we want you to have.
Yeah.
You can only paint your house a certain color. You can, is it that type
when
of thing? When
I was listening to podcasts with like Nergal or even Vogue from Decapitated, and I was like, that was my childhood.
Yeah.
That was like, but what I would say is it may be definitely more appreciative of everything, and
that's
I
true.
kind of miss
Right.
that whenever I moved to different countries and I was in bands. I kind of miss that appreciation of people that, you can't just go out and be like, I like this record. I'll buy it, and then I want to play an instrument. I'll just go out and buy it. There was none of that. There was none of that. So it was all more like when you're a kid and your parents make you wait for that toy you always wanted, and you wait for it for a month, for two, and then they say, "Oh, you just get it for Christmas," and then Christmas comes, and that was music for me.
Okay. Shit, I just forgot. I was just on a question, and I lost.
I mean,
it.
I think
God
that
damn it.
I think that actually goes back to a lot of things, like with I think as things get more relaxed and easy to get, I think people don't have appreciation. They kind
Yeah.
of
Oh yeah.
it's so easy to like be like, oh yeah. I mean, it's expected that the other day, like, Nick was like, oh, the new Job for a Cowboy is out. Listen to it, and I was like, all right, click, click. Like, I was like, cool, dude. Yeah, it sounds sick, dude. It's fucking rad, dude. Fucking super sick. But it's like at the time back in the day, it's just like once you get, it's like you give them an inch, they take a mile kind of thing. It's like your brain is the same way, where it was way more awesome when you had to like work or like put a bunch of hours in or have like a plan to go get a CD that you really wanted, and it
Yeah.
wasn't, rather than just being
Such
like,
a reward.
it's just like, obviously, and I
I had
didn't
many of those.
yeah, it's I wasn't expecting to like like get involved in this scene as a kid, but like when I was a kid, it was like this band released something I wanted, and I was like, well, I think I have enough money. Hopefully that's not $26.99, because back in the day it was like more expensive for CDs, and I was like, for the new releases,
Oh
I
yeah.
was like, yeah, I
The
think I can afford
digipack.
it.
The digipack's gonna be $23.99 or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the rich kid gets the digipack. It's like, whatever, dude. Well, I got the album, so
And
it's like I can still listen to it. I got 4
you need to
batteries for my
imagine,
CD player.
for some
Yeah,
of these
exactly.
guys, buying the CD was like sometimes even half of their wage. It was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
some of the imported stuff was crazy expensive.
I mean,
So
it's true. It's
when
also
when
too
you
like,
bought it,
oh,
I
it's so
remember buying
exciting.
my first CDs, and you would literally stare at it for hours and days and read every single line in the
Yeah,
booklet and
What
just
what age
yeah.
were you at? How long did you live in Slovakia?
So I left in Slovakia till I was nearly 20,
Oh,
and
okay.
then
So we're all the adolescent and all the
oh yeah,
prerequisites for you becoming a metalhead all happened in that country.
yes, yeah.
Okay, dude. I want to dig in on this because we're like we're talking about how easy this stuff, the access to all this stuff is, and for you to well, but you said after 89 the communism stopped,
Yeah, but
and
it
then
was slow. It was slow and gradual.
so
It
okay,
didn't.
so what in 89, how old were you?
I was 6.
Okay, so
okay.
6, and then
So you're 40 years old. You're 40.
Yeah.
so the
Boom, nailed it.
transition, yeah, you're right there with us, dude. You're in our generation.
Yeah.
Joseph
Yeah.
and Chris are in the ones that the generation that's coming up right behind us. But so you being 6 when that happens, and then the transition after that.
It was Czechoslovakia for a while up until
Mhm.
1994. So
Yeah.
people still know it as Czechoslovakia, even
Yeah.
though it's not this case for like
Actually,
30
wanted
years
to ask
nearly
you
now.
that. I wanted to ask you about that because for me, touring in look at Chris all frozen. For me, like going to the Czech Republic and Prague and stuff like that, and we played Slovakia too. I don't know if like back in 2009 or 8 or something with Cryptopsy and Unmerciful Decrepit Births. But
Mhm.
one thing about Slovakia that's always stuck in my head, it was the number one country that stuck in my head. We went to Germany, we went all UK, like all the things. But everyone there, like I felt like they were a little like not like technologically behind. They all had digital cameras, and they
Uh-huh.
all wanted to take pictures. Like every single one of them wanted to take like we had to wear like me and Flo from Cryptopsy were like even me, like who the fuck knows me? I had to like wear a disguise to go get a drink at the bar because I would get like 20 pictures that wanted to get taken of me.
Yeah.
And I was like everyone like putting like going like, oh, group picture, like what? I was like constant.
It wasn't usual for people to get that, you know, and that was the mentality still that it wouldn't be as normal as, you know, when you're in the Western countries that, oh yeah, that dude is from such and such band. Oh yeah, that's cool. But there it would be like, no way, what is he doing here?
Yeah,
they're here.
I got that vibe a lot. Yeah. I got that vibe. Yeah, totally. That was very. I mean, it's a story I'm gonna be able to tell, like, you know, generations of my, you know, like of just how
there was this one spot,
this one place
on
where
the
I had to disguise myself. I literally had to be disguised to walk around to not get 20 pictures taken. And I was thinking to myself too, when I see all these celebrities nowadays, it brought me to that, you know, because celebrities that are big celebrities, they don't get to do anything. They get to like
how crazy would it be if
get,
one
like,
of those people
they
were
just get,
holding
like,
a banana?
Well, I know, but they get constantly like anywhere you go to the fucking no, but you get to like walk down the street and you have to like go like answer like 20 people's questions, take 10 pictures and shit. And, like after one night of that, I was like,
Yeah,
dude, I don't like honestly don't want to be famous at all. Like that sounds like a nightmare. Like I don't want to like have. But Slovakia actually luckily like gave me like a really very lower level of celebrity for like 5 minutes. But I was like, man, can you imagine being a celebrity where you can't do like you have to like put disguises on and like walk around and stuff and like but Slovakia was they were all fucking awesome. I got a lock cutter to cut a locks open and I cut open a Cryptopsy's lock on their booze and I drank a bunch of it and they were all mad at me. But that's because Brovar is the guy for, you know, Brovar, the behemoth. He's the main behemoth touring. Yeah. And he was
I heard
like
stories of him on other podcasts as well.
yeah, he would just lock shit up, and I'd be like, dude, well, they sell lock cutters, so fuck you. I was like, dude, we came from all the way from California. I'm broke as fuck, dude. Like, give me a fucking shot of alcohol. But
all right, Martin, let's
Martin, get back into it. Yeah, get back into it. We can weeds out. We can weeds out pretty hard.
Yeah, no, that was some weeds. That was some.
But Slovakia, I loved that country. That was my favorite memory of my European tour for sure.
Hell yeah, I'd love to make it out there, dude.
Yeah, it's always the country that you don't know what to expect from it that amazes you the most. Like when we toured Asia in 2019, that was the same for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when we played Philippines and when you talk about feeling like a rock star for those 5 minutes, that was me there. I was like, dude, I'm just some dude that just plays drums. What do you want from me?
You're like, I'm making negative money. What's going on?
Yeah.
Or like a country like Indonesia, we drop that country frequently because Diego, there was people waiting for Diego Sanchez to get off the plane. Like he had people at the airport waiting for him.
No, they had to change. No, they had to switch hotel rooms.
Yeah, isn't that crazy how death metal could be so important in like other parts of this world?
Yeah, exactly.
In the country.
I know it's like a random country. Like you go to a random place of the universe, and they're just like, "Oh, you're the sickest thing." And you're like, "What?" Like
it's like death metal is religion there.
Yeah. No, definitely. The president loves it. The president goes to fucking. Yeah, it's crazy.
They know what's up, dude. They speak our language, dude. All right, so Martin, talk about again, like not even metal, but just I know we were talking music, but you didn't really mention any groups that you came across that you fell in love with. You were talking about what your parents were playing and stuff.
Yeah. So I think there was kind of a gap in between what my parents were listening to and then when I started to listen to music like actively. You know, sometimes you listen to music, but then you don't really listen to it. It just plays in the background, you know, when you're a kid.
Absorbing.
So when I was a kid, I think actually just that music playing in the background sometimes would influence later on what I was listening to. And then I would even realize sometimes that this is actually stuff I heard. And it was like these subliminal messages that came through. So, for example, when I started to listen to music more actively than I was actually listening to music, it was mostly dance music and happy hardcore and kind of prodigy type of music as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I remember coming across this CD, because when I was getting CDs, sometimes people would copy CDs and not always write down what band is it or what compilation is it. So sometimes I just got a CD from my friends and I would listen to it, and I'm like, I really like that sound. I was like, I don't know what that is.
Right.
And then it took me a few years to realize that what I got actually was the remixes of Fear Factory. The manufacturer was remanufactured.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that was the kind of the spark of me leaning more towards heavier stuff.
That sounds like a
but
natural progression if you're listening
yeah,
to Prodigy, is the electronic industrial
because Prodigy
sound.
had
And
guitars
yeah.
in their music, and I
Mhm.
loved Prodigy. Like when I was
No, me too.
Smack my bitch
12.
up.
Oh, like even the music for the Jilted Generation album where they had their law,
Mhm.
I was like, what the hell is this? And then the
Yeah,
beats would come
me
in, and
too.
the beats
Yeah.
were heavy. I remember reading interviews with the Prodigy guys, and they were like, oh yeah, we saw Biohazard live, and we thought those beats were fucking heavy. We need to incorporate
Yeah.
those beats into our
That's
See?
music.
cool. That's
And it
cool.
totally
That's
made
super
sense.
cool.
Yeah.
It does make sense.
So so it was dance music slowly going through Prodigy into heavier stuff. But then there came this pivotal moment. I don't know how old was I, maybe 13 or 14, where do you remember, guys, the soundtrack Spawn to the movie Spawn?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So it was blending electronic music with heavy metal.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And that was my would call it the Bible of how my music evolved from there, because you had the electronic band mixed with, I don't know, Slayer and After the Teenage Riot or Korn and the Dust Brothers, and I was already listening to Dust Brothers
Like
or
it wasn't like
Chemical
Corn
Brothers.
or Prodigy and Tom Morello or something like that. Wasn't there?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So like these
So
mashups that were happening. Yeah.
yeah. So basically, was it like 97 or 98 that movie came out?
I think
Can't
I think
remember.
right around then for sure. I think it was for sure.
So basically, what I did was then take all the bands that are the metal bands and try to source them, because before internet, you just had to either rely on friends that had CDs or people that knew people.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I started to go slowly and check out all the bands, and then just remembered just checking out all these bands. Even came across before Spawn was Mortal Kombat soundtrack.
Oh yeah.
Hell
And
yeah,
that had
dude.
Fear Factory and Napalm Death, and
Yep.
I
Damn.
just remember, what was it, Twist the Knife from Napalm Death that was on that.
Oh
It
shit.
was
It's been
from
so.
Diatribes, I think. It was a Diatribes
I'll look it.
album,
I'll look it up.
Yeah. We're
and I was just like, "What is this?" And that was again,
Oh yeah, Twist the Knife. It was Twist the Knife for sure.
yeah,
called
yeah.
it.
And I was like, "This is amazing!" Like, I just love the sound of the guitars, and I didn't know it was even guitars. See, at the time, I thought it's all keyboards. That somebody's playing these keyboards with these weird sounds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
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 And then
Before you can like decipher what you're listening to, you're kind of just using what you've already heard, and it kind of gets translated through that.
yeah, because I didn't know what musical instruments were. I did have
Mm-hmm.
like we had an acoustic guitar at home, but you know how an acoustic guitar sounds. And as a kid, I was like, "That's not an acoustic guitar," you know. So
So
I
how were
was
you receiving CDs though and stuff and music and stuff like post? I know you
What
went
was
through
your
the whole
first record store situation, dude, where you could walk in and
post
flip through shit?
communist
so
stuff
when
getting
I
there.
was maybe 13, when I was still really into the Prodigy, we had a school trip to Austria, to Vienna. And I remember we just walked around stores, and I didn't even have a CD player at the time. I had like some cassette players that my sister would have. Um, and we went to a CD store, and I was like a kid in a candy shop. I was
Yeah.
like, what the hell? Then, as you said, you had to check out how much money you got, what can you afford.
Yep.
So they had this single fire starter from the Prodigy, and I was like, "That's
Oh, I
just
got the
about enough
same
money
thing.
I have." So I would literally look at the CD for like a month before my parents would be like, "Right, we probably should get you a CD player, shouldn't we?"
Yeah.
So
Is that the one with the crazy music video too, where they got
underground in the
fire?
It came before the album came out, right? It was like a single, right? I remember that single. Yeah, I remember that.
Is that the one with the crab on the front?
That was the album
from Part of the Land.
God, that was a very, very good album,
that was
dude. I'm actually gonna be listening to that tomorrow, dude. I already can tell. Enough Prodigy talk. I'm already like, oh, dude, I need to go back to that shit right now.
I occasionally still listen to them, and I still like it. You know? So anyway, that was the first CD that I've ever bought, and then the second, once I had a CD player, then I even went to a store, and it was always like it was either my birthday or it was coming to Christmas, that my parents would be like, "Okay, we'll get you another CD," because I don't know how much was it, and crowns, because Slovakia still had the crowns.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, 600 crowns for a CD, and when you were on minimum wage, some people would have maybe 2,000-3,000 crowns a month, and then you were like, you have to think about it very carefully what you're gonna buy. So my next one was Rage Against the Machine, the Evil Empire album, where there was Bulls on Parade, and
good choice.
Yeah, that was all as well, picked based on the covers,
right?
Because when I was a kid, I was like, you don't know what stuff sounds like, because not all the stores that were selling CDs had a section where there was a booth and you could listen to the CD, so you just had to kind of go, oh, like that cover.
Yeah. That's okay. That's real quick. I'm not trying to go down another rabbit hole, but I want to mention that is something that no matter what country you're from, no matter what language you speak, in at least this realm, we've talked to enough people that it's just like imagery is where we all meet and we can all understand imagery. And so going off of album covers was such an important and common thing that happened with all of us, dude.
Yeah.
It's literally imagery was the main thing, and then record label, and then song names.
Oh yeah. So yeah, pretty much it started to snowball from there on, and it was like you guys talked about earlier, you just wanted to find the next heavier thing, like as your ears get accustomed to listening to guitars first, then some heavier vocals, some screaming, or then slowly it progresses. I think it was when I got to my teens, when I was already like 15, 16, I was hanging out with a lot of friends, because where I was growing up in the city, I'm Martin from Martin, as a fun fact.
Whoa.
So in the city, Martin, I had loads of friends that would have CDs, and would get it from there and there, and then you get to meet guys. And what changed everything as well was these few dudes that had a garage, just like their parents would keep their car in a garage overnight. It wasn't anything big. It was quite small. It was like, I don't know, 15 by 10 foot or whatever.
Yeah.
Where you would fit a regular car, basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
But because their parents didn't have a car, these young guys were like, oh, let's just make it like a hangout spot, and just hang out there for, as a teenager, what you do is like some early drinking, and they would be smoking and whatnot. And so what happened one day, one of the dudes was like, hey guys, I bought drums. I was like, what? And I couldn't believe it, because I was like, drums, they must be so expensive. That would take me like years to save up for. So they had these drums set up, and then that was the first thing, just the drums. And then one of the guys was like, I got an older brother and he can hook up electricity into this garage. So they illegally hooked on to like a main power supply and wired it up to the small garage. And then next thing you know, one of the guys brought a wee guitar combo, and he brought it in, and we all started to hang out there. And one of the guys was like, "Oh yeah, I got an electric guitar." That was the kind of start. So I would go in and first listen to them jam, and we were all like 14, 15 maybe. And I was like, can I have a shot? And
yeah,
I literally never played drums before in my life. And I would just see some videos online, or not online, sorry, what am I talking about? On TV. Online was non-existent.
It wasn't available.
So I would just sit down and I would cross my arms and start with the 4/4 on the floor, and they were looking at me like, "How do you know this?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I just saw it on TV. That's what the guy was
mimicking.
doing."
Yeah,
Yeah. And then I remember the dude would start playing "Paranoid" by Black Sabbath. Yeah, and as the riff goes, and I would keep on messing up because as the snare comes in, and I always would put the snare on the first, not on the fourth. Like 1, 2, 3, 4.
yeah.
And they were just like, "Okay, man, just get off the drums," and then the other guy would come in. So this was pretty much the start of me like listening to music, and then my first taste of drums as well. What changed as well was that as the boys would be smoking and drinking there, I was just looking at the drums. My mind was like, I want to play drums.
That was
smoking cigarettes or smoking weed.
That was still like that was your alcohol or your smoking. That was what you cared about. They were like, "Oh, I want to get fucked up." You're like, "I'm looking at my drug, which is."
I was looking at the drums.
Yeah.
They were drinking. I would maybe like take a sip of something, but I was like, "Can I go now? Can I have a shot now?"
Yeah.
So then things changed a little bit because some of the boys were just getting into more dodgy stuff, like sniffing glue. I don't know if it was a thing when you guys were young, but they would pour literally like paint.
We call it huffing. We call it huffing
and they would
over
put
here.
it on a cloth and sniff it and get high like that.
Yeah.
And I was just like, "You guys are crazy, but you do that and I'll play some drums." "Yeah, man, you play some drums." And then they wouldn't even remember. And sometimes like some of the guys would be like high or something and break the skin on the kick drum, and I would have to tape it over, and then they were blaming me that I broke the kick drum. You played too heavy and you broke the kick drum. I'm like, I didn't even touch it. You guys already broke it and I just taped it up. And then from there it went on, and it was when I went to secondary school, I would have some friends that were like, "Oh yeah, I like metal too, man." It's like,
and you're like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah, I was like, "No way! Like, what do you mean you like metal? Like actual guitars and distortion, or just like No, yeah, I got a combo as well." I'm like, "No way!"
What? Oh man, dude, I'm excited right now as you're saying this. Like, it's making me excited to hear. Like, you just pulled yourself out of teaching yourself how to play drums around a bunch of glue sniffers, and then you go to school and then you find guys that are actually into on the same level, same vibe as you.
When I say guys, it was one guy in the class of 30. Or in the whole year. Like, see, when I was listening to metal,
that's all you need is one guy, though.
Yeah, one guy, and the one guy played the guitar, and that changed everything. Because when I remember just as I started off with, like, I don't know.
Hey Chris, I'm sorry to cut you off. Chris, I'm gonna when you're ready to talk, I'm gonna unmute you, but there's an echo coming from you.
Me?
Fucking you, fucking cunt.
No, dude, cunt is a good thing tonight.
No,
it's
I'm
supposed
sorry.
to be a good thing, dude.
I was trying to be funny, but
if you want to be negative, you call him a wanker. You fucking wank, dude.
Really, cunt sounds so much worse than wanker.
No, because you're in America, you fuck.
No, I'm just hearing an echo coming from you.
You got the
This could have been 2 seconds.
I'm
we
sorry.
keep talking on this.
I'm sorry. I came too
hard.
I'll
go get some headphones. I'll go get some headphones.
No, we already got the explanation.
Actually,
cunt is a good thing over there. It's a term of endearment.
Yeah, headphones. I can hear an echo when you came back. The mic's bouncing back. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut him off. Now I'm the cunt because you had to take it too fucking far.
No, dude, cunt's a good thing tonight. That's what I was trying to explain.
Oh God, Jesus.
Cunt's a good thing if you want to be. You're a wanker right now. That's what you are.
Yeah. I mean, for pointing it out for people.
No, I'm just.
Anyways, it was a quick thing. It was just a little thing, and now we're.
Right, it's a little thing.
Anthony, let's get in a fight right now. Let's argue.
I want to fight you right now.
No, actually, I mean, hearing the story
though. I want to fight you in a couple of days
Jesus.
when you come up and hang out with me.
Just don't interrupt me as much. But I'm just kidding. But no, the cool thing about like hearing you're talking about getting a CD and you have a friend that has a drum set. So like a drum set compared to a CD is like you said 600 crowns for a CD. So this is like we're talking like 10,000 crowns for a drum, right? Something like that. For a drum set. Why is it that?
It would have been
more.
See, to be honest, I didn't even know because it took me a few years. It was maybe another 2 years before I was like, I literally had to ask my friends for some money because my parents were just like, nah, that's too expensive. It's just not happening.
Mm-hmm.
And then I managed to convince some of my friends to give me a loan of money to buy a drum set. So when I was jamming with this dude that was in my school year, so at that time, you need to imagine that when you were listening to metal, you were pretty much setting yourself up to be an outcast straight away, just like that, because you were the one guy that was like, well, you know, I remember these guys that I was like, I really like Sepultura, and they would be trying to make fun of me afterwards. Oh, don't listen to him. He likes to listen to Kama Sutra. You know? All right, okay,
got him.
You know. So this one dude, when he was like, "Oh yeah, man, I like some Metallica, and I like some what was he listening to? I think it was mostly Metallica. Like some of the dudes were obsessed with Metallica. It was like one of the guys that I knew, he wanted to learn Nothing Else Matters to the T, you know, and then he would be teaching you, and then he was no, that's not the note. No, the guitar solo, everything, like spot on.
Yep.
Anyway, so we started to jam with this dude, and then as I was still going to the small garage place with the other guys, they were slowly getting annoyed that you just come in here to play our drums. I'm like, yeah.
So you're just using me.
You're speaking truth.
I was like, you guys don't care anyway. You just come in here to get high, and I just want to play the drums.
You use me for my glue, dude, because my dad's works for the glue factory, and like
you guys, you keep breaking that drum head, dude. I'm gonna keep using my glue that I'm wanting to sniff, dude. I can't have that anymore.
Misappropriating my glue.
It was slowly becoming all my fault. So I was like, all right, guys. Well, that's when I started to beg some of my friends for some money because I saw in a newspaper that somebody was selling a drum set, which was about 2,000 crowns, and I was like, I can make this work,
dude. And then you probably literally after you saw that, I guarantee all your dreams changed. You couldn't fall asleep right away. You were waking up early thinking about this fucking shit,
looking at pictures of it.
And I was like, because I didn't know it was just a cutout from a newspaper. I was like, I don't even know how old is this newspaper. I know the guy, because somebody else knew the guy that's selling the drums. So it was Amati Drums. I don't know if you ever heard of the brand Amati. No. I didn't either until then. I knew about I knew about Pearl or Tama or
yeah,
whatever. DW was like the Ferrari of drums.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I was like, Amati, okay, that's drums, and that's 2,000 crowns. So that's like a few CDs, three CDs or so. Yeah.
Like, shit,
So
I
I was
can't
like,
buy that many
I went
CDs
to
for a
see
month
this
or
guy,
whatever.
and he's like, oh yeah, but it's just a kick drum, 2 toms on top, and a snare drum and a hi-hat stand. And I'm like, no floor tom. And he's like, no. I was like, oh,
He looks down to where
okay.
it should be, and
Yeah.
he's like,
Yeah.
no, it's
So
not
I gave
there.
him the 2,000 crowns anyway, which retrospectively I probably overpaid like for the drum set by at least a few hundred.
But you did get the basics of,
Yeah. So I had the hi-hat and then the basic drums, just the toms, and so we were like, next thing is like, where are we gonna play? So he was like, this dude on the guitar, he was like, we can just set it up in my garage. He had a remote house, and they had a separate garage to their house. Just like if you imagine a small hill, they had a house built on the hill, but they had the garage kind of lower down under the hill, and we could just go there and just play. And they had electricity wired in as well, legally this time. Not happening. And it was right beside the main road as well, so nobody cared about the noise. So we would be doing that, and I just remember just like learning the first, like I tried to play thrash beats, but as my arms were trying to go like that for the thrash beats, my body was going as well. And we used to have friends coming over, and we wanted to play like the early Green Day, like the Dookie album.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
And then
First CD I ever owned. Green Day
Offspring,
Dookie.
All I Want, like all the fast stuff. We wanted to just play the fast stuff. Just
Offspring's the first CD I ever owned.
Yeah.
Dude, you're hitting marks right now, bro. Let's see if you can get Professor's first CD right now. Go.
So as long as we were playing all this, we kind of
can't hear you.
tip in also like Nirvana, the early Nirvana, and what was it, Bleach?
Yep.
Yeah.
Where was cool and all that stuff. And I just remember that was also slowly the introduction of like what double pedal would be eventually. But I didn't come to that for many years after. But so yeah, we were jamming at this garage, and then slowly listening to more and more music, and then what changed everything again was like after Metallica, you had Slayer and all the double bass, and I was like, when I heard Slayer, that was it again. I was like, Dave Lombardo was the god.
Oh yeah.
So we're still early teens here, and I just try to like emulate all the thrash beats at the time because everything else would be nearly impossible on the drums that I had. Then a few years later, I managed to persuade this guitarist to give me a loan of yet more money to buy more cymbals, because at the time it was just a hi-hat, snare, 2 toms, kick,
How
Eventually
exciting.
somebody was like, oh, I got this floor tom you can use. Somebody just had a floor tom randomly in their house that they didn't know where it came from. So I had these, I think they were black Amati drums with this orange floor tom.
Fuck it, dude.
San Francisco Giants colors.
Yeah.
Professor,
just like your shirt right now too.
Have you heard of Amati drums? He was
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I've never heard of
It must, it must have been some Eastern European brand, I would say.
I'll look it up, but it's not one of the standard ones you'd know.
It's just AMATI.
Amati.
So with the floor, it was floor tom first, and then when was the first other cymbal besides your hi-hats?
So,
or was that in the same transaction?
I managed. No, well, it was kind of steadily
very close. Yeah,
but I managed to persuade my guitarist to give me a loan of money to go buy cymbals. Yeah, I was really into Paiste at the time. You remember the Alpha series? They were kind of good mid-range cymbals. Because
glad we have a drummer with us.
Like when I bought the shitty drums, they said like, look, drums can be shitty. You can buy good drum heads for them and make them sound okay, but don't buy cheap cymbals. So I was like, okay, I will not buy cheap cymbals. So this dude gave me a loan of 15,000 crowns. Yeah, which I was like,
whoa.
That's a lot of money. I don't know how I'm gonna be paying this back yet, but I will somehow.
Because you said the whole set that you got was 10,000 crowns.
So 15,000 crowns. I just looked it up.
It's 2,000 crowns for the drum set, and then 15,000 was for the cymbals. It was hi hats, crash, China, and the right cymbal.
Sounds about right.
That's the 675 is the conversion right now. Maybe six. So like probably So for American dollars.
I think it was like 30 crowns to British pound at the time.
Okay, yeah, it's flipped a bunch. I remember going to UK and stuff, and it was like almost $2. Like it was like a pound was like a buck. No, a pound. Like I forget how it was, but it was like 1 pound was $2 American almost. It was
trying to make the money so important. I'm just like,
well, no,
doing the conversions in my head.
Yeah. It's like dude, it was 70,000 things, and you're like,
Martin,
what's the things to normal?
He's got to spit it out. I want him to get it out so that Martin.
So he gave me a loan of 15,000 crowns, but it was all 1,000 crown notes in the roll. Yeah.
Okay.
So I take them, put them in my pocket, and I'm walking out of, because I grew up in a high-rise flat. It was like a 13-story high-rise flat. So I ran down the stairs when he got me the money. I ran down the stairs, and I was running out of the clothes. You know, as you get into the house, I was running out of the clothes, and somebody shouts at me, "Hey, did you just drop 1,000 crowns?" I'm like, I don't think so, because you know I had them in a roll, and they were tied up with like a rubber band. And I was like, I don't think so. But then I turned around to start to walk out, and I'm like, I should probably better check.
Yeah.
So I did take it out, unroll it, and I was like, there's 14,000. And I turned around, I was like, excuse me, I did drop those 1,000 crowns. And they were like, nah, you said you didn't. Now you're saying you did because you just want to get those 1,000 crowns. I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Because that was like when I was going for the bus. I was going on a bus to travel to another city, to Žilina, which was about 30 miles away, to buy the set of cymbals. And I'm like, oh, you.
But wait, it was wrapped up in a rubber band. How did it fucking fall out of your pocket, dude? Or did dude give you the wrong amount of money?
No, it was definitely, I counted it, you know, it was a lot of money. And I wanted to make sure. So my theory is that as I put it in my pocket, maybe one of the notes kind of slipped out,
and then it was
as I was putting it into my pocket, and it just fell out. And I thought, anyway, thankfully I managed to have enough money to buy the set of cymbals, but I think I wanted to get like, I don't know if it was like 4 or 5 sets at the time of those Alpha series, because you know sometimes you had these sets that would come with like 16-inch crash, 18-inch crash, and China, and I think, if I remember it right, I just decided to go just for one crash, but I really wanted to have the China cymbal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, eventually as I got that, then we started to practice, and we used to play, I don't know, 2-3 days a week, just practicing in the guitarist garage. And then I don't know if I was 17 then. Like it was years later because we couldn't find the bassist for ages, and then the guitarist, he was like, I want to sing, you know. So he was singing for a while, but he was really, really into Metallica, you know.
Yeah.
I was like, Metallica is cool, but you know, I was already getting at the time into heavier stuff because there was a lot of local bands. There was local band called Protest. They were already playing like kind of Napalm Death style death metal. Then there was another kind of death metal band called Lunatic Gods. They were quite established as well, and I got to know all those dudes because they would be practicing in a basement of a pub just beside the flats where I grew up. So I got to know those guys, and I got to know their singer. He was really friendly, and he was running at the time. He died a few years after. He had some health problems, so it was quite sad because he was helping us with our first gigs and whatnot. But he was running Metal Age Productions. I don't know if you guys heard of that. It was quite a bigger metal and death metal label in Slovakia. So they were. He was basically slowly introducing me to a lot of other bands as well. You know, I would tell him that, I like such and such band. Like I would tell him that I like Fear Factory, and he would suggest other bands that I should listen to. But as time goes on, what I was then, my next goal was to get a double pedal, because I saw one band that had a double pedal, and I was like, no way. Because see, before I knew there is such a thing as double pedal, I would hear bands like Fear Factory, and I thought, how is that guy playing all those parts with one kick?
You're like,
I would try to emulate this one kick constantly going.
And you'd be like, this isn't real. They're faking it.
And Fear Factory just blew minds left, right, and center, because at the time, nobody knew what the hell are triggers. Nobody knew, well, at least from my closest friends, that what the hell is like a double pedal, you know. But I tried to emulate it, and I didn't even know at the time, but that's how I learned doubles with my right foot. And I was maybe 16 or 17, and I started to play doubles with my right foot, and they were like, whoa. So I could go like, you know, and we started to do stuff like that. And
that's cool.
Some of the guys were like, yeah, those young guys, they're trying to sound like Fear Factory.
Well, I was thinking, so you naturally did the double stroke technique just to try and imitate it.
To try to emulate the double kick, because
I
was practicing it. I remember in the garage, I was practicing it, but you know, I would tap out after like 2 bars. I was like, how the hell is this even possible? And that was then in that kind of time period where I realized, oh, he can be using a double kick or a double pedal, you know. But
you're like, 2 pedals. Fuck
yeah. Before I actually went to rehearsal of these death metal bands that were already playing in the local area, I had no idea what the hell is happening, you know. Like I remember even thinking, is he maybe doing that kind of kick floor tone or something, you know, to make it sound like that?
That's the trip that reminds me of a lot of the people, like guitar players, like the older guitar, like the older like legend guitar players we've had on here, and even my dad and people like from hearing Eddie Van Halen for the first time, because he used to turn his back when he would tap.
Yeah.
And people were like, what the fuck is he doing? Like there was no video of it. It was like, sounds like he's doing like some way too many notes at once. And how does that happen? Like, you know, like people were like, had no idea. And it's got, with you, like hearing Fear Factory with one pedal going like, how does that happen? Like, what do I need to do to get there? And doubles obviously end up becoming like a part of the mainstay of death metal drumming. But like, man, that's very cool to catch on to that so early and just be like, all right, I need to work on the doubles.
That was my point that I was gonna make, is that you could probably search YouTube right now and find a dude who's like, oh dude, I'm gonna play all these Fear Factory songs just with my right foot, you know, but it's just like, well, Martin had to do that.
I knew a guy who had a kind of similar thing. Like he didn't realize Lars Ulrich used a double pedal, so he learned that bit in One by Metallica, all like on one foot, just like going like you know, it's like 2 kick drums. It's like, oh shit.
Now I'm actually tired of the Lars Ulrich like being like popular to hate, because I'm like,
damn, I was about to hate him.
Sorry. It's so easy. It's going like, dude, Nickelback sucks, dude.
Well, no,
this
is my thing, dude.
Like he's probably a good singer. Like I don't know. I don't like the band, but like
to it after Black album, dude.
Well,
so I don't know.
I'm talking about Lars Ulrich.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, yeah, Black's Black album was also criticized by him, but all the stuff
one of the best drum tones of all time,
dude. And just for all, like, hits me in the face every time I listen to it.
Yeah. he's doing like 2-hour sets with like new songs every night on this tour. That's all pretty sick. And my friend went to, it was in like the fucking like snake pit or whatever they call it for this
90.
last show. And he did play like one correctly. And I feel like people jump on him when he doesn't play that part right. Or like the Howard Stern thing is fucking hilarious. Like where Howard Stern is like sucking on his nuts for just being able to play that part. It's like, dude, like you can learn that part in so fast. Like it's not.
I mean, for someone
all,
that
but
it's like getting on like Geezer Butler from like Black Sabbath, going like, dude, you didn't do that. It's like, dude, no, they created it.
It's not even that. Also, with like Stern's reaction to that, that's also the most extreme thing he's ever heard.
It's the reason why we're here, kind of like when we're like, no, dude, you didn't hit the drums as sick as I needed him to hit them. It's like we all got here because of that. Like it's like Black Sabbath, Metallica.
When was And Justice for All? 86?
No,
84 or no, 85.
No. Justice for All, 89, no?
89.
89.
Yeah, because 86 was 86 was
Master Puppets.
Master Puppets. Yeah.
80. My birthday is Ride the Lightning, July 27th, 1984. That's when that came out. That's why I feel like I'm cool now.
I taught Ride the Lightning to a student today, like the song, the title track on guitar.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah.
It's just so ahead of its time. It's like cool, dude. They're I mean,
there's such an
forever people have been giving them shit or Lars shit. I'm like, it's been that elitist attitude. It's like, yeah, he's not a fucking amazing like spinning the drumsticks, like doing like backflips while he's drumming, but he's like been in this like basic pocket, and he's been part of the biggest band of all time. It's like rivaling Rolling Stones for metal. So it's like you can't like really like be like, dude, fuck Lars, dude. Like it's easy. I mean, the whole Napster thing made it pretty easy, but like there was so many bands, like all these other bands were like right behind him, but they were just like, oh shit, the backlash. No, we're not getting behind you with the downloading of music. But I think he gets a lot of hate where I'm like, nah, I mean, he's not. I watched the drum videos too. I watched one from the other night, and I'm like, yeah, he's fucking up a little bit from like what it was on the album, but he's still 60 whatever and playing for stadium.
Like he's 60.
And he can't hear all the haters because of all the money that he's got.
I know. It's all the fucking all the crowns.
Sorry, guys can't hear
and then there's also the percentage of the metal guys that are like, well, fucking Pete Sandoval played in Terrorizer, and fucking that album was laid down in 87 or 86.
Also, Lars helped write a lot. He helped arrange a lot of those songs too. Like Kirk Hammett didn't do much of that. Like it was James Hetfield and Lars that helped arrange those songs. So it's like,
and yes, what I just said, Pete the Feet, he definitely murdered Lars on those early Terrorizer records. But I'm just saying, like,
speed wise, yeah, for sure.
When we're talking about like the quintessential metal band to bring metal to the masses, that is Lars as the drummer. That's fucking James Hetfield on guitar. That duo right there is what created the sound that would make this extreme metal translated to the masses.
Yeah, he's a huge stepping stone. He's a huge stepping stone to get to like.
I'll always get mad respect.
As well, that you need these bands to introduce the younger audience than to other stuff. Like,
exactly.
It's like you were saying earlier about a translator.
Yeah, exactly. Like you need them. That's the first, like, I mean, not first, maybe like your fourth or fifth step in metal. Like then you get into Metallica, and then you go, and it's like you have to have respect for. But anyways, my whole thing was.
Well, I know he's not running theme.
He's not like he's not Derek Roddy. Like I get he's not Derek Roddy.
We need the Metallicas to translate the fucking Disgorges to the masses.
There you go, dude. Exactly.
That's part of the ladder.
It's the same with everything. Like when you got the heavier vocals, you can't just introduce somebody to growl straight away. Like it's the same as you can't introduce somebody to double kick drumming straight away or blast beats straight away. They would be just like, what the hell is even going on? It sounds like two different people playing all the instruments at the same time.
Exactly.
No, it's exactly what it is, dude. And that's why Metallica is one as big as they are. Still, I think nobody else did it unless somebody can tell me this, all 7 continents, they played on all of them
in 1 year, in the span of a year. Yeah.
That's crazy, dude.
They did that specifically just to set that record, but they did it.
No,
and that's ego. That's healthy ego. Well, not so healthy if you go through there.
Well, I'll say this to connect 2 ideas that I had in my mind. So when you're talking about practicing doubles on a single pedal on a, so just to be clear, that like goes back to like jazz, obviously, but then like John Bonham, like Led Zeppelin 1, like the first song, Good Times, Bad Times, like a lot of people consider that the very first heavy metal record, and it's to get those are single pedal doubles. So that's like where that style would have come from. So you have that right there. And then when you think of like Lars coming out in like the footsteps of like Bonham and they were just like had kind of been a standard that there were these huge bands already with like the virtuoso drummers, and he didn't like kind of reach that and stay there. He like strove for it, but his ambitions were more on like Metallica as a band rather than him as a drummer.
The guitars guitars were more of the forefront, not the drums. I mean,
so we all love and respect Lars for everything he did to make metal drums popular, but it's also because he got that far that it kind of hurts the most, where he like can't do the like kind of just basic things that it's like, I want to just go up there and just do it, that's what makes it kind of like easy to have that reaction. So
no, I got you, dude. I get you. You 30. How old are you? 32 now?
33.
Oh shit, dude!
Probably older than him when he recorded all the classics.
Shut the fuck up, dude. You're gonna tell me that when we started this, you weren't even 30 yet. I think you were 29.
I was probably 30.
Started at 30,
like 3 or 4 years. We haven't been that long.
We're coming up on 3-year anniversary, but he could have like just turned 30 right at
it was around then. So
anyways, back to
Preventively Vomit.
2018.
Oh, right, cool.
So that's
when he was young. That's a young buck back then.
Did you see them?
There's some really cool videos of Casey, Joseph, and Diego jamming that started that whole To Violently Vomit.
Yeah. I was gonna say I started To Violently Vomit.
We're not started that group, but
oh, nice.
That's probably. I was like, there's no way you played that gig.
That was with Ron Casey. So Ron Casey is my age. So he joined TVV when he was like early 20s, and then I joined when I was late 20s. But Anthony, the videos came later, so I was already in TVV. I did the September show with Diego.
Yeah, I've seen those videos.
Sorry, dude.
Oh, nice.
I thought I thought that those jam sessions got you guys hooked up, so you were already TVV then. Fuck.
So the story is Diego was set to play Las Vegas Death Fest with Troy Fullerton on drums, and then Troy came down for rehearsals, and I had my drum set there at the studio, so Troy played on my kit, but he couldn't learn the material in time, so they had to cancel that show. And then the next show was the Los Angeles Extermination Fest, and that's the one I had like 3 or less months to learn the set and execute it. So
yes, you did.
That was fun. And then we kind of
was actually the first dude that picked me up at the airport in San Francisco, which I was like, what?
Yeah.
Shout out Troy.
Yeah, he's the
homie, dude. I love Troy.
Yeah. Was that charismatic? What the fuck? I just got picked up in this Savior drummer.
And if you get but obviously if you listen to Servile, you definitely can understand that he could play that material. He probably just jumped in a little too late,
Yeah, exactly. I for one like have always felt like so like there's Ricky Myers obviously, but then the fact that like I was just before doing that, like helping Troy get set up, like, oh yeah, my drums are there. Troy will be able to play on them. That's all good. And then to think like, oh, I have to play this show, but it would have been Troy if not for me. I've always had this weird like imposter syndrome about that because I couldn't think of a better drummer to do it.
I mean that Vegas. I'm not to get it down that rabbit hole, but I'm just saying you really impressed me at the Vegas show, dude. That was like some of the funnest time that I've had watching Disgorge, because I've never actually seen Disgorge in person.
We're talking about doing some shows next year. We are confirmed for something. So I want to tell you two in particular.
Something fest.
Yeah.
But I can't because it's not announced. But we want to do some warm-up shows and stuff.
Yeah,
so
dude.
hopefully
That'd
we'll
be
get some
sick.
shit going.
Some of my
Awesome.
I was saying this. I'm drunk now, so I was saying some of my funnest times watching Discord. I'm saying also included with the internet, the YouTube videos that I've watched, and then I see fucking Joseph doing it. I'm like, dude. Oh, actually, you know what I'm not talking about, dude. I fucking played with Scourge. Dude, I am fucked up now, dude.
No, I mean, actually, one thing I actually wanted to get on Joseph about. I mean, we were talking about this earlier while you were packing up and stuff. Was about like the Diego style, and like for me, and still to this day, I still have trouble like understanding like how to even learn it. Like my brain's like, so how did you take it, like just by jamming freely with him and then
10, 11, 10, 10, 14, 10,
or
11,
no,
10.
were you counting? No, I don't think you were. Were you counting?
So I learned it from playing along to the albums, and then I would go to practice, and the first one I knew 4 songs. I learned Womb Full of Scabs, a couple songs off She Lay Gutted, and I think I learned Demise of the Trinity. And for those, I just learn anything. You just play along to the record, and then when there are really tricky parts, I would maybe write some stuff out on paper or type it out, or if anything, I would just listen to parts over and over again and try to get it all in my head. And as for the style, I don't know, man. Like you learn And Time Begins material, so I feel like it's not that different. It's just
it is so funny for you to say that. Like, oh, dude, I played in Decrepit Birth and Odious Mortem,
but
it's All Realm and all this shit. And it's like, how do you play Disgorge? Well, it's actually
Disgorge
the same
is it's also like I spoke these different dialects of this one language, but now I have to learn Chinese.
No, dude. Okay, so Chinese is actually a good interpretation of this because there's so many different dialects and different things that.
Yeah, but I haven't even learned the.
But you can speak Mandarin and go to a different part of China, and
but
people will understand you.
Though. The best way to describe it is that I am speaking like this. I can go, hey, right, well, I can do all that. I can, but then I talk to someone that's a completely different language, and I'm like, I don't even know how you do that. I don't even understand there's no Latin in this. I don't understand where the middle, my brain doesn't understand the basis of it, and so to grab on that, it just trips me out to grab onto it and learn it. And
but you're speaking like it isn't from a different continent, like death metal. If we're gonna use language as the metaphor, it's all one continent, and it's just a bunch of different dialects. You're like, oh, but Chinese and
this metaphor is
we're going too deep. We're going too deep with this, Anthony. I was just saying it was completely.
I went too deep with it.
I know, of course.
No, I'm trying to. No, you went too deep.
No, I'm saying it was just a different language, and I had dialects. I did different styles. I had Swedish death metal. I had all.
Your comparison was wrong.
But no. I'm just saying that you're wrong. But besides I'm just
death metal's death metal, right, bro? Would you say if you're gonna call death metal a country, are we gonna say that death metal's from it's a bunch of different countries?
This is a weird hill to die on, dude. But
so you guys are playing Partied in Half in full on the new tour, right?
Yeah, I guess
Cracked me up. I looked that up. It's on the tour flyer. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just cutting you off dramatically and swiftly. It's a 3-song EP. I fucking died when I saw that. You guys are promoting with that. It's hilarious.
So what are you promoting with? Can we put it on the screen?
They're saying Playing Party in Half EP. Well, I didn't even know it was an EP.
Bro.
It's a 3-song EP. They're playing in full.
I don't even know they're joking.
I love it, dude. I love that.
I think it was reissued afterwards, and they added more songs to it. But you're right. Initially,
that's the humor.
Yeah, because I was like first proper release at 10 years old. But that one EP just seemed to get lots of traction. Like all our releases do moderately well, but that one has millions of streams on Spotify and stuff, and that's the one that always people are like, I need copies of this. It always sells out every time. We've sold thousands of copies of that one EP as well.
Sick.
So, okay.
Hell yeah.
It's like as in
when
like,
you talk about learning drums, this EP
Yeah,
just
yeah,
that
yeah.
song "Duct Tape to a Flagpole" had 3 different drummers recorded it, and I had to learn
Yeah.
it, and I was just like, which drummer do you want me to learn from? So I
What
just
style of drummer do you want?
because I learned the song before the EP was released, and then because I was filling in first, and then the EP came out, and that's a different drummer again, and I was like, I'm just gonna do a mix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like yeah, I don't know what it is, but one EP just seemed to over time garner like a lot of like, attention and stuff. And yeah, just anytime we have anything related to Part and Half on our store, like it sells out. People are always telling us like Part and Half, Goldman, like slam death metal and things like that. Like it just kind of when we like made it like 10 years ago when I was like 21, we were like, oh, this is good. We're quite happy with how it's turned out, but we didn't really expect so many people like down the line. Like actually, this is like one of the first like death metal things I ever heard, and this what got me into like death metal. Like
That's so rad.
That's
so when we went to America last year with it's one really something like I still toured the East Coast of America with Wormhole. Like pretty much at every gig, I had like young people come up to me and be like, Part and Half was like the first thing I was to discovered this and that. Like the artwork was just kind of out there, so I just had to hear it. And this is how like every night, everybody, just get people seem to gravitate to that EP quite a lot. So 10 years figured me as well. I know you really wanted an excuse to get back to America, so yeah, 10 years, 3 songs. One of the songs though we've not played since 2014, so that's a special occasion right there.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
That's awesome, man.
Is it
Well,
High
dude,
Five
I mean,
Ghost?
Focus was
I know.
only what 8 or 9 songs, 8 songs. So it's like, dude, 3 songs on 10 years versus Focus on 30 years. It's like it all works out, dude.
We got a fan request to talk about Iniquitous Savagery.
I'll give you a brief rundown there. We signed a Will Tip not too long ago, and we've got a new album coming out next year. It's all tracked. We just need vocals done. We got a new vocalist again. So
a new vocalist again.
Iniquitous Savagery 3.0. So
yeah.
So that's you and so next year, new Party Cannon and new Iniquitous Savagery. It's gonna be a busy year for me.
Oh yeah.
It's good. It's good. I finished all recording all the Iniquitous Savagery tracks, and I've recorded all the Party Cannon tracks as well. Yeah, so both albums are going out. Party Cannon also signed to a new label. I can't announce anything about that, but that's going to be.
Oh, can I guess?
I think a bigger label. But let's not guess because you'll probably get it. But
I know. That's why I stopped. I don't want to announce it.
Sony Music.
Yeah.
Oh, if only. Imagine. But yeah, so new Iniquitous is coming out. Fun fact: every member of Iniquitous Savagery has been in Party Cannon at some point.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
When right before Party and Half came out, we had Ewan from Iniquitous Savagery filling on drums for a while. It was actually like, see, when he filled in on drums, that was like maybe 2012. We did like our first like tour reviewing on drums, and when he started playing drums in Party Cannon, that's when I realized, oh, we're actually a good band. This is what it sounds like when you have someone who can play drums. Like, wow. Then we did the 2019 Asia tour with Waking the Cadaver, and we had Joe from Iniquitous Savagery filling on guitar.
Oh yeah,
that was pretty cool. Yeah.
Grave Birth. I'm the new vocalist of Iniquitous Savagery. If you were asking,
that'll be announced. That'll be announced in like a few days.
No, I just announced it right now. I am.
I'll say this, so it might be someone you don't recognize as a kind of newer face in the scene. Because obviously Hamish was in Laceration and Omnipotent Hysteria, so people kind of knew who he was. Well, new guy, he's local, but he's really, really good. Really good.
Oh yeah. Does he look kind of like this?
Dude,
I saw the message just now. I was like, shit, I missed that. Yeah.
So
awesome,
are the socks to offset? Are the socks to offset the fact that you don't have underwear on? So you got to like warm up the legs a little bit.
It's like pants.
I've got a knife in those socks.
Dude, damn.
I'm just
ready to carry ski and do a knife.
What do you put in the pack in the front where your hands are?
Weed.
I think I had chewing gum and tissues in there at a point.
That's awesome, man.
Chewing gum and glue.
Yeah,
Glue.
case,
Jesus. Rectum Martin.
In case the wedding did get wild.
Oh, sorry, I forgot. No, that's Slovakia.
Okay.
Just joking. I sniffed glue too when I was a kid.
You did?
A little whiteout, little glue sometimes. Yeah. Not crazy, but I've tried it. I tried a lot more shit. That is definitely not the craziest shit I've ever tried, guys.
Well, I need Chlorocetin. I get all that.
Yeah,
but glue?
yep.
Was it gasoline? Were you sniffing gasoline?
Never huffed gasoline. Love the smell of it though.
I mean, you work with it, so you probably huff it all
I know,
the time.
but actually, like, wanted to smell it more than I should have, or shouldn't have. I don't know how I should have said that. I like drugs, guys. I did a lot more before I was a dad.
Well, fuck, guys. Time to get partied in half.
Yeah. now
there you go.
The chat's talking about all my drug problems. All I do is weed and alcohol, guys. All right, I'll shut up now.
Part and a half is kind of when Part and kind of became like a serious band, I guess, because before we released that, we played like Europe once. We played Malta Deathfest, and we just kind of kicked about the UK, just doing all these like one-off gigs. So we did like a weekender and things like that. But when we released Part and a Half, people from all over the world were like, "Oh, I want to book your band. I want to do this and that." That's how we got signed to Gorehouse in the first place and things. It just seemed to gain like a lot of traction because it was the first EP release that actually had good production, and by good production I mean like what we wanted it to sound like. Everything we did before was like drum machines and home recordings and stuff, but we fired a drummer for a second time before recording Part and a Half, and we got a guy called George to fill in, who was like an incredible drummer. So it was like our first release with like real live sounded drums with a guy who could really play the stuff, and the songs were kind of, since we had like a drummer who could play the stuff we wanted, the songs are a bit more out there. We could like have interesting structures, we could have like faster riffs and things like that. So it was kind of less constrained, and yeah, it was just a lot of years leading up to that. And when we released that, that's when we got put on like better tours. Like when we released Part and a Half, we toured with Prostitute Disfigurement and Erectus Smegma. So that was good. We went to Vienna, played with like Benighted and things like that. We obviously, like say, we signed to Gorehouse Productions, and more people started to hear about the band. Just like more money was coming in band things, more offers came in. We got our first offer to tour America off the back of Part and a Half as well. And Barry at Death Fest got in touch with me, right? We want to book you guys to play the 2015 fest. It's like, oh shit. And it's yeah, it just seemed like a lot of eyes were on that one EP. So it was like,
what's cool is you guys had a true vision. You kept the humor from the beginning. You know, it's like we have a theme that's different than, you know, most of the bands that play this genre of music. And you then at that point started seeing the benefits of the unique aspects of the band, you know, and it totally makes sense that like you guys are still crushing it today. You guys are still, I mean, you guys are where you're at now, and you're coming over to my territory very, very soon. You know, you're going to be on my side of the planet very, very shortly. And it's all about what you guys have been doing to get you there. And I truly believe that there's certain things that you just need to do to stand out in this, because when I listen to, I'm the type of guy that listens to everything and I'm like, unfortunately, I've been trained to be like, oh, I hear this band, I hear this. And I don't try and be negative about it at all, but I'm just saying like it's unforced. The only negative aspect of it to me is that my brain's so trained that it's like so hard to find. No, I'm not going even down there. You guys, you have a unique thing, the imagery, the logo, the unique mix of all the ingredients that we all try and throw together. You know, It's like I'm going to take percentages of all these different ingredients and try and make my own thing. And I had a great time preparing for this for this episode. Yes, I'm drunk, guys. Preparing for this episode, I listened to a lot of Party Cannon in the last week. I've listened to a lot of Party Cannon this week, and I had a great time throughout the whole entire time. I love the song names. I love you had Ross Sewage on a song, and I'm just like, dude, what the fuck? Here he is. And by the way, side note, Ross's performance on that song, it took me right back to all the early Exhumed stuff. His voice is just so unique, dude. It like Ross truly is an underrated guttural vocalist that I think that a lot more people should be talking about, because he is so able to. There's something about him that is, he has his own flair, and then he can just recreate it whenever you need him to. And after all the years that I've watched him do it live and all this shit, and here he is again, just still doing it today, dude. And I just it makes me the guy like over here trying to fucking recreate what I've been doing in the car on the way up here tonight. I still can't feel like I'm doing it. I need somebody to tell me that I am. But I look at those guys who have been doing it for so long, and I'm like, oh shit, dude, he sounds just like all the times that I've listened to him. And
our vocalist Stoney, he learned to do vocals by trying to do an impression of Ross Sewage. So to get him like on a track was like awesome. The feedback I've had on that is everyone's like, it's cool to hear Ross Sewage on like a brutal death metal track rather than like a gore grind track.
Right.
Because his vocals are.
He is over some stuff that isn't normally what you would hear him doing.
Exactly, and that's like you said, they're like really brutal sounding vocals. And,
yeah.
I love Exhumed. Exhumed like one of my favorite bands ever, but
very familiar though too. Like it's like, oh dude, it's Ross again, and it sounds so good. Yeah. Made me want to literally. Another thing too is like I'm going back to old Exhumed shit now because I listen to you guys, and that's another cool thing about Party Cannon is for the younger generations to come across Party Cannon. Then they're like, who's this Ross Sewage guy? And then they go back to all the sick early Exhumed shit, and you get the beginning, and not the beginnings, but like the second generation gore metal shit, and you're just like, yeah dude.
That's some kind of comments I do give about Party Cannon is a lot of people who kind of write brutal death metal and slam off because of like the band names and things will listen to Party Cannon and give it like a kind of open chance, then realize they like slam. Like I've had a lot of people like, oh, I didn't realize I like slam, but I listened to Party Cannon, and then I got into Cranium and things. Like when we're playing like a bigger festival, say like Bloodstock or Metal Days or something like that, where it's not just brutal death metal bands. There's like loads of other bands playing. Like when we played Metal Days, like Meshuggah and things like that. When we played Bloodstock, it was like Behemoth headlining and stuff. So a lot of people going to this fest are probably younger or have like a kind of preconceived notion of what they already like. So I mean, I can maybe understand why people wouldn't go, oh, I'm going to listen to a band called Gorgasm or Torso Fuck or something like that. I kind of know what it's going to sound like. But they're like, oh, Party Cannon, I've not heard this before. They might go in a bit kind of more open, like, oh, wait, I thought I didn't like brutal death metal, but I've heard this. Now I do. I was willing to give it more of a chance because of the image. So I've had quite a few people come back like, that was my introduction to slam. And that's kind of why I did the Part in Half 10th anniversary thing as well. And a lot of people come back and said Part in Half was their introduction to slam, brutal death metal, and now they're into like Discords, Dank Views and things.
And then it just brings it back to seeing you guys on a flyer, and you see all these crazy logos, and then this one Toys R Us-esque logo of Party Cannon, and you're like, I see all that, but what's up with this band?
Yeah.
And so you guys literally if we're gonna, if I take another metaphor of geography, you guys literally said, "I'm gonna build a bridge."
Yeah, that's kind of what I tell you. Like, yeah, I don't think party games.
You saw the distance between these 2 points, and you're just like, "I'm gonna build a bridge that's accessible for a lot more people to get from this point to that point."
I think that's why also we ended up on tours like with Gwar, when we did the Gwar tour last year.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
Like, I don't know if Gwar would just take any death metal or brutal death metal band on tour with them,
Yeah, that's true.
So,
that's true. They saw the logo and they're just like, "Oh, this is fun and like this is kind of like a thing that's different." So let's fucking.
And it's not just
take this
that. I think also our live shows are more orientated towards the European kind of crowd, where you have all these inflatables and people trying for people to have fun. Even when we get people to do push-ups, it's something that not everybody maybe does. But that's the live aspect that, in a way, we kind of thought as well that some of the death metal bands were not missing, but weren't doing. So we try to incorporate that as well. It's not just the logo, it's not just the music, but it's also the live shows. Like, we're all aware that, a lot of these death metal bands like are way better than us, or better performers and whatnot. But what we're trying to do is then just play more on the live note, where try to make it a little bit different for people to have a bit more fun. We get people to crowd surf on a whale, inflatable whale, or
I mean,
I literally want to do that.
Are people going to remember? I mean, overall, like as a full crowd, obviously there's going to be people that are really into like Opeth or something, that like one riff that they hit, or are they going to remember like they're all having fun and someone wrote a whale over? It's like, oh, dude, the whale thing. That's going to be like a group of friends story for like until they're old. Until they're old. It's going to be like, remember that time we rode the whale? Like that's like a fun
a lot
experience.
of parents actually turn up with their kids to our shows, and they're like, "It's my kid's first gig, and we got to crowd surf on the whale."
Dude,
I handle Lana Gore tour. Like, when we did the Gore tour, then we did our golden headliner in January there, and people were coming up like, "Oh, this is my kid's first ever death metal gig. Like, I saw you guys at Bloodstock, so I had to take them along." A lot of people were like, "This is my first ever death metal gig ever." After hearing about you guys, it's mad. It's mad, like, to kind of reach.
That's awesome, man. That's really cool. That's a cool bridge. Like Anthony was saying, it's a cool bridge to bring, like people that are like, oh, like they see the logos or the imagery of death metal, but they're like, it's kind of like a fun, like inviting. Let's have fun. Let's not worry
we
about
all like to party. We all love to fucking party.
Because I felt the same way when I was growing up. I felt the same way when I discovered the Black Dahlia murder. I was like, I really love Morbid Angel, and I really liked, I don't know, Vader or Decapitated, but they, all their photos were like this.
Oh yeah.
When you meet those dudes, they're not standing there like that looking at you.
Never.
Martin,
like in the movies from 90s, where you had the metal dude in the 90s movies always being the one that took their sandwiches and Diet Coke.
And we're not those guys at all. And you brought that up right at the time that I was going to say this, Martin, which is I've seen Black Dahlia. I don't even know how many times, but the one time that stands out is when they were playing at the Pound. They came out in Hawaiian fucking t-shirts and threw beach balls into the crowd, dude. And everybody was fucking hitting those beach balls around the whole fucking set, and they were rocking out in fucking Hawaiian t-shirts, and I was just like, this is the best fucking shit I've ever been a part of. At this moment, this is the greatest metal show.
Every show before that for us was all like serious, arms crossed, like, it was
the
like
interaction that was happening between that 200 capacity room, 250 capacity room, every like 7-8 beach balls floating around the room the whole set, dude, and
everyone's like trying to hit the beach ball, like, I want to hit the beach ball.
Yeah,
and when you get to Germany, it gets even more weird. I mean, my personal experience was when we played Germany. I think it was 2014 or 15 when we started. We had like these balloons or party poppers with confetti, but then the Germans, obviously, they were already on top of the game with the inflatables. So I'm playing playing some blast beats, right? And next thing I know, something lands right in the middle of my
I know.
snare drum, and it covers the toms, the snare, everything. And it took me a second to realize I'm looking at an inflatable vagina.
Yeah.
So I was like, the Germans did it first.
I mean, that is true. Like, I was at Death Feast in 2010, and it was just like a total party with inflatables and stuff, and that kind of inspired me. It's like, right, I want to start a death metal band that just kind of leans into this. Like, the lineup for that festival was like Cranium, Dying Fetus, Suffocation, and stuff, Amputated, and the whole time when Suffocation were playing, people just having a party, like crowd surfing, inflatables and stuff. I was like, this is awesome. It's like my favorite brutal death metal band, and everyone just having a fucking actual like fun. It's like fun to be here. Like,
that's awesome. There's a band called around. I don't know if they're actually kind of on this side. It's called Steak Sauce Mustache, but it's like
people keep recommending the band to me.
Yeah. No, they're they're like opening for, I forget what band in Sacramento, and they're like, oh, dude, I heard they're like a lot of fun or something. And the guy comes out and like he's wearing like a pink like a wife beater with like little like short shorts, and he throws those noodles that you use to swim, those like foam noodles. Yeah, he throws them to everyone, and everyone just like starts fucking like fighting each other, and the guy's like floating them. And I was like,
didn't this happen when we played Florida with the band? Those
Poon Tickler, yeah, we played Miami, and
they would have like funny little things though. They would like lift up the back of their guitar, and it'd be the huge face of the bass player, and then the bass player would pull it up and it'd be like the huge face of the guitar player, and then they'd like run out with like their wireless and like go out.
They use like those floaty things to get people to fight in the crowd as well, to hit each other.
Yeah, it was just kind of like a fun little, like, everyone had them, and I was like part of it. It totally got me in. I was like, okay,
I have a box of Son of Aurelius foam swords that they would throw into the crowd to fight.
Yeah, it was kind of like Converge Dillinger Escape Plan style though music. So it was like it was like all fucking madness. And they were dressed like not what Dillinger, but not what Dillinger was looking like. They were just like completely madness dissonant music, but like dressed how you wouldn't expect them to dress. And to me, I was just going like, this is like genius. It kind of reminds. It's a style of like you guys doing like that for like slam and like more heavier death metal, but it was more like that kind of crazy, that Dillinger style, but doing the like something similar, a little bit more aggressive. I was like the tight shorts and the stuff like that, but that was like funny. Everyone was laughing and smiling, like, and everyone was moshing, laughing and smiling, and I was like, I've never seen this happen. This is like insane. Like this kind of a band would usually like bring like tough guy, violent, like trying to be like sick, and but everyone was smiling and like in on it, and just it was like, I need to see these guys when they come back. I was like, immediately, I'd never heard of them, and I was like, I need to see this again. This is so much fun. Like,
I think a lot of this kind of thing, in my experience as well, while I was listening to like death metal stuff growing up, me and my friends, we all really like power violence and grindcore as well, like kind of more.
Man, you're gonna open up power violence at fucking 2 hours and 52
he's in the
minutes,
middle of the story. He's in the middle of the story.
I know.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
but
so
I need to go to Luke.
Okay, yeah.
No, I'm just joking. It was a joke.
Yeah, so one of the big influences on like just party canon and just the whole kind of ethos of it was that we all like bands like Spaz, The Afternoon Gentlemen, Weekend Naturals, and things like that, and they are like legitimately brutal bands, but all their song titles and kind of there's no real like facade about it. It's just like Spaz have songs about mountain biking and how much they love like mongoose bikes and stuff, and fucking The Afternoon Gentlemen just sing about like getting pissed and things like that. So like Weekend Naturals, like there was like loads of fun life. I was like, no one took it as a joke. It was just it kind of broke down a barrier. Like we understand just like regular people playing fun music, writing stuff about things that are like important to them. So that kind of whole pseudo kind of almost ironic thing. It's like, yo, I'm gonna put that into death metal, and that's kind of where the whole song titles and stuff from Party Cannon came from. That kind of idea.
Yeah, I love the ironic thing. It's like we're getting all of our anger out right now. This is like where metal comes from. People, most chill people in the world, I would have to say, if you have to go to any genre of music, like cool, chill as metal, because people, getting their rocks out, they're getting their anger out, whatever they need to get out, but like with a little sprinkle of comedy on it too. It was like in like a metal way, though, not just like funny. We're being funny for being funny. It's like, no, with metal in mind. Or like, with the genre in mind. It makes it so much better, because all the fans
the genre and tastefully though.
Yeah.
It's like we all get our idiosyncrasy. What are they? Wrong fucking word to find while I was this fucked up.
Well, just like,
isn't that funny that these guys are? What time is it for you guys right now?
I don't know. We gotta wrap this up.
Coming up to 9 a.m.
I have to go to bed.
9 a.m. dude.
But thank you guys for. I mean, Jesus Christ, man, for you guys coming on.
Cheers, having on, man.
Yeah. I remember like when I first showed up in the lobby with you guys, I just thought you were like, "What's up, dude? Good morning, dude." You're like, fuck.
And I'm like cracking the beer, like, "What's up, dudes?"
Yeah. That's brutal. That's a brutal thing to do.
This is death metal, though. This is what we're doing it for, dude.
We're actually flying to Poland tomorrow. We're playing a gig in Poland.
Yeah, man, we've been busy as fuck.
I'm like, dude, I gotta take my kids to school tomorrow, dude.
So Poland, what time? Are you guys playing a show? Poland
festival, got like an open air fest. There's like us, Spasm, some black metal bands, Brutal Sphincter. Yeah, we're good, man. Sekira Fest, it's called, I think.
Hell yeah.
Sekira. I'll see if I can send a flyer because the lineup is pretty fucking good.
Hell yeah, that's gonna be.
By the way, you guys,
what's that?
You need to get Kevin Talley from Dank Fetus.
Yeah, we will.
Martin, that crossed my mind again. I mean, I've thought about it several times, but literally 2 days ago, dude, I was like, that's a drummer at the legend level that we haven't got on yet. That I really
when you were asking me about my background, like when I heard my mate gave me the CD Destroy the Opposition, and I saw the cover because I didn't know, and he was like, "You might like this," and I don't know if you will like it too much, but he changed my life. Period.
I think that record deserves it. Episode on its own, dude. Destroy the Opposition. I think literally that is a turning point for so many of us, dude. Hearing his vocals.
Was that 2000 or 2001?
Yeah, I think it was 2000, man.
And just how
dude, was 98.
My first death metal band, Carnivorous, dude. We fucking played that song, "Opiate of the Masses." That was the only live cover I ever did death metal wise, and it was at the Pound. And dude, to take that on as one vocalist, I was.
Oh yeah, because I was switching back and forth. It was what's
dude.
his name?
I almost passed out during that fucking song, dude. But paying tribute to like true shit, that album.
Oh, let's see.
Because of hearing Kevin Talley, he changed a lot of things in my life. He made me, in a way, move. Because, you remember when he joined Chimera for that one album, that self-titled album? And when I heard that, his drumming on that, and I was like, I lived in Ireland at the time, and I stopped drumming for like 2 years, and I was like, I need to be in a band again.
Dude, I got a VHS of Kevin Talley back in the day, a VHS, and it was his Slayer auditions.
He was selling his DVDs at one show, so I bought all of them, like him filling in for Hate Eternal, him filling in for Black Dahlia Murder, him filling in, him playing with Chimera and the Red Chord as well. And I remember just he was like selling the DVDs that he made himself. And I was like, just give me all of them.
Dude, I saw Misery Index played the second Maryland Death Fest, and I was there, met him. I gave him a Carnivorous shirt. He's fucking wearing it in pictures with us and all that shit. Dude,
I met him when he played with Dath in Glasgow.
That's right.
I was so pissed off because at the time when they played, the ticket said the doors was opening at 6:30 at night, but they played at 6 with that. I was like, who did this?
He's like one of the first session drummers that like I was like, this guy can do anything. In my coming up, obviously Session mate obviously is before him, but in extreme metal, I was like, this dude can play any kind of metal.
Yeah.
Dude, my first time
coming off, I was just like, if you guys can get somebody, get him on the podcast.
I have a quick story. He played in Battlecross, I think, right?
Yes, he did as well on one album.
And I was backstage with a Mayhem Festival with like Rob Zombie and all these crazy people, and me and him got into a golf cart, and I just like jumped in with him, and like we were like doing like jumps and shit. And in the morning, I was like, I had to go to work the next morning. I was like completely drunk and just going like, oh, it's Kevin Talley, it's all good, just like we're like jumping off shit. And I'm like, oh my. The next morning, I was like, oh, I had to be at work with like a computer and be like, yeah, like talking to people like, hello, how can I help you? I'm like, I was just doing jumps with Kevin Talley last night, like 5 hours ago. Like my brain was like, but dude,
so
that was great fucking one of the most influential. He played in Suffocation for a while too, right? Didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
That's the thing. It's like, of course, like we have these stories and we're seeing how sick dude is. Of course he needs to be on the fucking show. So we're gonna dig on him. I'm gonna dig on him.
But it's all about you guys for now, and I know that Chris sent me this. This is that festival.
Yeah.
Look at that. See,
damn,
no matter what you look at, you're gonna find that Party Cannon logo, dude. For sure.
I know, dude. It sticks out the most. That's so smart. And if anyone starts doing it after you guys, like fuck them, dude.
Nah,
you guys did it first, and that.
If people want to do it, that's awesome. That's awesome.
What was that kindergarten
kindergarten
Mexico?
slam party? Fucking hell. It's not even
really?
like it was the same logo, and it was just dumb. It was like,
are they still current today?
No, like I got a really weird message from the guy because the
internet probably erased it.
No.
They had loads of hate. They were like, all the people that knew us were already at them. I was like, I don't mind. You guys do whatever.
Yeah. We released like caps for our logo, like we released snapbacks or a logo on it, and they released the same snapback just with their logo on it. The day after, when as an April Fool's joke, years later, I was like, oh, we'll restock caps. So I uploaded a picture of their cap under our Facebook, and I got a message from one of the members being like, we're not a band anymore because of some kind of drug cartel like attacked like their members, and they all had to go into hiding. Like it was something fucking mental.
We weren't. It wasn't that we were tired of copying you guys. It was that the drug cartels came in.
And we're literally in hiding.
But I mean, the cool thing, like you guys have I'd almost like would take it as like a fuck yeah if someone was like doing the same, like trying. It's like you guys created the style, and now there's another band trying to be fun. And
see, I like awesome. That. I like it.
Yeah. It's like you guys thought it was like this funny thing that will stand out and like be like brutal when they show up, but like it's like Party Cannon. Hey, come show up. It's all fucking heavy ass shit and fucking gnarly.
You get more than you expect.
Yeah. I love that. But yeah, if you started a style from it, that'd be fucking so. It's all of a sudden it's like 2029. There's just like all these Party Cannon-esque bands like coming, like trying to all be. It's like
we call it the Party Slam. So I don't know.
Yeah, have like comedians in between going like, "Hey, what's up, comedians?" and like have like fun and everyone's laughing and like all, good vibes. Which metal is usually good vibes live, but like with you guys are like you guys bring like a fun to. It's like it's not implied. It's you need to have fun here. It's like. It's not like a small implication.
They don't need to. Fun. Satan can just take on their soul for their 45 minutes or so too. But
yeah, I love everything you guys are doing, man, and I'm so grateful you guys came on. Gee golly,
thank you for having
me. Gee golly,
yeah, it's awesome.
Making one gigs. Hopefully see you guys in America.
Yeah, hell yeah,
dude. You guys are very close. Sacramento sounds very enticing, so I'm gonna try and make that work.
Oh yeah,
nice man,
for sure.
That'd be awesome.
All right, let's wrap it up. I have to go to
wrap it up real quick. Let's do it. Battleforge. Let's do the fast one again. BattleforgeCoffee.com. GeneratorCommercialStudios.com. Cali Death Podcast.BigCartel.com. I read all of them right. out of order, but go to all those websites and support all of them. And then the Party Cannon party-cannon.com.
Boom.
That's the one.
That's where that's the main hub for the death metal party, guys. Like all encompassing. All right. And Joseph's going to see you in Europe. I forget when and where and all that stuff, but he's going to be there. All right.
Awesome, man.
And that one right there. I can't read. I can't read right now. My eyes, I don't have my glasses on.
Can someone pronounce the festival?
Shakira?
Shakira.
All right.
Shakira Fest, and that's what Shakira Festival in Poland.
I am Ron Burgundy.
I am Ron Burgundy.
Ow now, brown cow. Ow now, brown cow.
All right, fuck yeah, guys.
All right, dude. Had a great time, dude.
Yeah, I want to watch.
And we'll see you next week. Joel and I are going to be doing something different. It'll be fun.
Yeah, it'll be silly and fun. Love you guys.
Later.